these little photo eyes, how these things can be a little nuisance sometimes. I want to talk about it today because actually I had a few people reach out to me today, which I really appreciate. It was great. I believe I talked to Rob. I think it was Rob on the phone today. I have to confirm. And anyways, we were actually talking about a gate operator, but we're also going to talk about these. And so I'd like to hear any input on these guys. I might show a little clip. I got a little video. Tanner's here. What's up, Tanner? If you guys have any way, so years ago, I'm going to find my other little demonstration here if we got one. But years ago, before I think I've been in the garage door business, I remember trying to find a way. Ooh, this one don't got the contactors in it. I tried to find a way to bypass the photo eyes. I had it was a craft opener that I had from a customer that I got it working. Ooh, this one's dusty too. But I just kept thinking, why can I not jump a wire across this thing? A little dusty. We're going to talk about this one too. What's up, Kevin? I'm sure Kevin's got some input. Anybody's got input on this? So anyways, Rob reached out first, and it was about the circuit board here, the Apex. And it was just ironic. Sometimes I'm telling you, the universe is weird. Oh, by the way, too, if you don't mind, don't forget to hit the like button. Just helps wake up the algo, bring more people in. All that good fun stuff. This is my little test stick that I carry around for testing things. But anywho, I thought it was funny because I thought it was the same guy, but it was a different phone number. And I was like, this is not the same person. Somebody just randomly texted me and said, Dave, do you think if I put a 10K resistor on a opener, it would work? And I said, I don't think so. Now, I guess if anybody deals with these or ever seen these, type 1 in the comment. This is a 10K resistor. You can see how small it is, right? Get these off the old Amazon. I got a whole little pack. And by this video is just very entertainment purposes. I do not want to see you in court. Don't sue me, bro. This is just entertainment purposes only. This is not advice. This is just some random dude too that's AI generated. I do not want to see you in court. So, but I don't think you can do 10K. Now, I didn't do it, right? I've not tried the 10K resistors on the garage door openers. But I have mounted, I don't really encourage it, but I've had little old grandmas. I see we got 2 likes. Thank you guys for hitting the like button, by the way. I have mounted these up, above the opener. Now, I electrical taped them together, which I don't really like doing that. I still like them to have a little bit of separation. I think they can fall out if they're pushed together. I only do this in very extreme circumstances. I definitely don't ever do it because I'm lazy. I only do it if it's if a customer even recommends it. I've wrote up little contracts saying that the customer stated they wanted this. This is, they didn't have these before or don't want them, just to kind of cover my hiney. But one thing that's nice is on the perforated angle, and normally the wing nuts will fit in them. Sometimes on the backside of them, and you can get these to face each other, and that works too, right? Unless a bird makes a nest up there. So but what it is, let me see if I can find this video before I get too long-winded. Welcome for hitting the like button, all that good stuff. Hope you're having a fantastic day. I'm gonna try to dig up this little video that was by garage door. Was it photo eye? It was 13 years ago. This video, I wondered if it still existed because I knew it was a super duper long time ago. This is it right here, actually. And hopefully this will show up. Oh, wrong button. This is the video. You can look it up for yourself, right? It's bypassing, which you can't really see.
This is the reason why you cannot bypass the garage door opener. Look at this.
As the miles add up, engines begin to wear down.
But there's a pulse. So I always think of it as like, oh, he's right here. Let me show you. See if I can turn it maybe though. There's a pulse. It pulsates. See
So
that
it's
here?
open 1 millisecond apart. So
Boom,
every
boom, boom.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Every time 6.5 milliseconds.
So 6, he's saying it's moving. I think he shows.
The pulse started close.
All right, let me see here if I can find it where he shows.
But generated pulse.
I just thought this was a very helpful video for me to understand how photo eyes. But see, he shows there's nothing there, then it's there. He's crossing it right now. It loses it.
Well, that's everything. So
But
now you know.
I definitely encourage you.
The alarm of the garage door opening.
He's showing it again.
No pulse,
Pulse.
no signal.
Oh, he's.
No pulse,
No
no
pulse.
gas open and close. Pulse on,
There's a pulse.
gas open. That's the basic.
So what I always thought about when I seen this video is I like to think of it as like a heart monitor. You know, like when you're at the hospital and it's beep, 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 and then it flatlines, beep, death, gone. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how I always see that these work. As far as I know, these are not 10K. So when he said, can I put 10Ks on there? I said, I don't think so. So I said, you got to have these photo eyes. I've never found a way to bypass these. You got to have that pulse. So these generate a pulse. Now, I still haven't got a lot of clarification from a lot of the guys to say, can you use Genie or can you use LiftMaster and it doesn't matter. That. I'll get to the comments here in a second. But anywho, I wanted to show you on these ones, right? And the gate operators, this is what Rob was calling. These have to have 10K built in. You have to have 10K in your wires. If you can see that. If it'll zoom. Will it zoom? Will the smartest phone in the world zoom? Probably not. But it says open. We got open obstruction, closed obstruction inputs. And that's where these come in. If you need to get it running, you can use 10K. So these are very helpful if you work gate operators. And of course, he was on the phone. He's only got one. He's like, oh man, he was bummed. So he needed two, as far as I know. Anyways, let me grab in these comments a little bit. I always use the eyes, bolt and wire nuts, and put them on punch angle. Face. It's the cleanest look with not a lot of extra crap going on. Yeah, I mean, that seems like that's the best. And then sometimes, like, I actually make sure too that they're above the opener a little bit because I've came across people, you know, leave their doors open all the time and a bird will build a nest. I've seen that. You know, door will go down, you know, and I'm like, is it blinking? Yeah, it's blinking, it's clicking, it's doing all this. I go there and it's like, are you serious? There's a bird nest up here. Like, you didn't see that? Come on, you know. Let's bypass some safety features. Now, and that's a good point, right? I mean, I definitely don't encourage it with 4 likes too. Thanks for hitting the like button. Don't forget, hit the like button. Hit up or down, I don't care, hit up. What do they say? Always hit it twice? Hit it twice. But these, right, you gotta have these. And like one time I had a little old lady. Her husband, either her husband passed away or her husband wasn't doing very good. So her old opener never had photo eyes, right? Some old opener. And I was really against, but the problem was there was a man door right next to the garage door, right next to the track. And every time you open the door, I mean, it would just skim the wire of that bracket. And I knew where it was at. I just went, oh, I said, this is a horrible spot. I said, anybody walking through this door is going to kick this photo eye all day long. And that was just how it was built. It was built, whatever, in the 50s or something. You know, the house was a lake house. And so I knew I was playing with fire. Luckily, it was close to the shop, but I didn't want to do it. I didn't want them, you know. I just thought, you know, it's a little sweet old lady. If she falls or trips, that could be a problem. I just didn't have no other way. I mean, I could have mounted them on the ground, but then it would have even been worse and way more in a kick hazard, you know. And I didn't have a hammer drill at the time. I mean, I probably had the DeWalt ones. Really didn't have the right bits. But still, either way, it was just in the way the man door opened into the garage. So I finally told her, I went back like 2 or 3 times, and I said, I'll mount them above, I said, but, you know, I kind of, you know, I think I wrote something out, you know, that we're not responsible. I said, you know, I said, you be pinned under this. I said, I don't want to see you on the 5 o'clock news or me. So you got to be really careful. Eric bypassed my safety sensors, man. Do it up. The heat. What's this? I don't think these sensors are required in commercial property. That's a good point. I think LiftMaster made that. I could be wrong with this. I heard from a vendor one time. This was quite a few years ago, but he says, you know how there never used to be photo eyes in commercial buildings. I said, yeah, because we did a lot of road action places or DPWs, and he was saying how he said, well, LiftMaster generated that. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean LiftMaster generated that? How do they, you know? He said, LiftMaster's the one that did that. He said, think about it. He says, they're the one that were promoting and everything. He said, because then think about how many more openers they could sell. Because, right, because, like, he says, you ever wire up an old opener? I'm like, oh, it's a bear. Like, it's just a nightmare. You got to use old Amrons, you know, photo eye and, you know, reflector. Most of them, except for some arrows had them in the wire diagram, started towards the end. And, but as far as I know, I'm pretty sure, because I do hear a lot of places now get audited for insurance, and we've gotten quite a few jobs. You know, they call us in and say, hey, we need to find a way to put, you know, and sometimes it's like, well, you read an opener and they're okay with it. Sometimes it's, we need to try to find out how to put a photo eyes on this thing and make them work, you know, because the situation is just whatever, you know what I mean? Oh, thank you. We got 6 likes too, by the way. Thank you. So I think if I had to guess, I mean, obviously anything new, I mean, all the commercial ones come with them. So I'm gonna guess they're mandatory now. Maybe we'll find out in the comments. Oh, versus I won't bypass any sensor for customer no matter how much they ask. Yeah, I mean, I'm normally right there, but you know, it's like I said, that was the only one that I really registered, you know, and that was just a little old lady, and I just didn't know any other option. Like I said with the man door, I mean, right? Come on, Rusty, right? That customer service, man. I had to take care of the little old lady. I mean, I didn't know what else to do. I mean, it was like that man door was right there. The track was here, the door was right here. It was like an old, just an old lake house. And I was just like, what do I do? I was like, they're like nowhere to put this thing. And the thing is, you know, the older I took out, you know, I mean, she kept looking at me. I mean, she was a pretty smart little, and she's just like, you know how many years? I'm 95, and you don't tell. Like, yeah, you know what? I mean, I get it. I mean, when you hit that age, you get what you want. And I, you know, like I said, I made her sign a little clause saying, hey, I'm not responsible if somebody, you know, your cat dies. Because I had a lady one time, her opener, this was a Chamberlain opener, door was off, and I couldn't get the sensors, you know, the old school mechanical limits. I think it was bucking, and I just didn't know to clean the sensors, not the sensors, but the limits. And I kept doing the 2x4 test because she kept her up. I see her leave the door up all the time. I knew it was because she had a cat or 2 or 3. And I told her, I went there like 3 times. And I told her, I said, you know, you're not really, I said, a garage door is not, you know, for animals, for any human. I was like, that's what that man door's for. Oh, I know. She was Chinese a little bit, you know. I know, you know. And I finally told her, I said, look, I got your opener to the point, I said, where, I said, it's working. I said, but it will not reverse. I said, it will not reverse. I mean, I did the 2x4 test. I couldn't, if I did it, the door would malfunction mid through travel. It was like something was going on with the RPM or something was screwy. And I tried everything. And I remember she called like, I don't know, like 3 days later, man, the worst call. She, you know, calls me up. She goes, you killed my cat. You killed my cat. I'm like, I killed your cat. I haven't been to your house, you know. And I'm like, oh my God, I know what she's talking about. And it had safeties, but obviously these were up too high or whatever, and it got her cat. And I was like, oh, and I told her, you know, that one might have not had the safeties. It might have just been force settings back then. I know there was something, and I really pushed her. You know, I told her, I said, you really need this opener. Oh, I know. Does it work? And I'm like, it works, but it's not safe, you know? And so just another thing where for some of you new guys, you gotta, you know, oh man, if you're new in the game, welcome to getting gray hairs. And so these are those situations, like I said, you know, garage doors, nuts and bolts, mechanical stuff is easy. Starting a business from scratch, try running a business with employees, try dealing with multiple customers all on your own. It weighs on you. You learn a lot. And I wish like hell there was somebody like me that I could have been watching and would have told me these stories and said the ups and downs and the good and bad, because you just do these things and you're like, I'm just good. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I don't know how I could have any better. You know, it's like when you get the customers, like I've seen employees, I've had customers tell it to my face. You know, they tell you it's great, it's good, and then it's like 2 days later they're calling, by the way, and it's like, by the way, what? Like, you were happy, you signed the check, I showed you everything. What's going on now? You know, and then you find out, like, we literally just went to one detailed. Caleb bought it. It's a door that's going to get replaced, and all of a sudden the door goes down. I mean, what's the freaking odds? What's the freaking odds, man? The bad doors were playing a curse on me. All of a sudden he hits the door, right? Somebody replaced the opener. I also knew an opener. Door goes down, goes back up. Damn. Maybe that's why he's replacing the door. You know, it's a wood door. I don't know. You know, it ain't my house. I don't live here. Caleb goes, hey, he's talking to the sir, the gentleman there. He goes, sir, I think you got a broom in the way. And I'm like, man, Caleb caught that? And I'm like, looking, I'm like, what is he? Oh yeah, shoot, there's a broom in the way. And I'm thinking, what are the freaking odds that broom would be in the way right now, because he's got stuff in the corner, and that thing could have threw a cable on us. We really didn't have tools, you know, and I'm just like, what are the odds? What are the odds? This guy uses it. It's not like the door gets only used. It's his personal house door. It's used every day, 2 to 3 times a day, I bet. What's the odds? I just thought, I need something stronger than water. On angle, well, let me introduce you to a paint stick. The paint stick 1000. I can sell. They're $20 a piece, and they are nice. They've been deburred professionally, and they're smooth. They're nice. They smell like pine. And the best part is you can also stir paint with them when you're not using them for your photo eyes. So sign up today and order your paint stick 1000 down below. Only $20. We are doing payment, 2 easy payments of $9.99. And then there's also shipping, and don't forget tax if it applies to your state. Get yourself a paint stick, man. It works nice. It's nice, a little easier on the vehicle. Not a piece of angle all sharp. Good old paint stick. It was all I could find at the time. I've used angle though too. 70% on commercial. This is, we do state we're not wiring except residential. The wire provided by company, no pre-wire. If it's there, we will use it. I want to get that. I want to get in that writing. It's admission that you, as a professional, installed photo eyes incorrectly. Could be, but I always spell it out that the customer, you know what I mean? This was the customers. Like, I think of it as, like, I think automotive places, I hear it 50-50. You guys let me know if you hear something different. So one time I had to pick up a service van. It was pretty much at the end of its life, but I was driving it because I always drive the crappiest vehicles. I always give the nicest vehicles to employees, and then I drive the crappiest. So this one I was driving towards the end, and they called me up. They said it needed like, I don't know, like $3,000 or $4,000 worth of like brake job stuff, and I'm just like, no. I've been driving it. Like, I know what brakes sound like, grinding and stuff. It had a misfire. That's the reason I broke it in. YouTube, we got 8 likes. If you guys don't mind, hit the like button. And so I said, no, and the van's only worth like 23, 25, 3,000 on it. Put $3,000 to $4,000. It's just too rusty. It's not nice. I go over there and I remember the lady really being rude. And this goes on to all of us, right? About customer service. And I went in there and I'm talking to the lady for a second. And there was a couple of them. And I remember she just kind of like was like, oh, she's like, you're the one driving the unsafe van. And I'm just like, oh, yeah. Yeah, that's me. That's me, Mr. Reckless. Like, I'm automotive class. I mean, I've dealt with brakes. I'm damn near 40 old. Like, the brake pedal's there. There's no grinding. I hear you guys are shysters. Didn't say that, but, I just was like, yeah. So then it turned into, well, you need to sign here. And it's like they let me off because I've heard of that place also having vehicles towed. So I was obviously signing, so that's kind of for them too, right? Like, we know that this vehicle's unsafe, but we're not responsible. And so, that's why I look at it as kind of a give and take. I mean, I could see that, but I also, I want the customer. I want the customer, because the customer is the one that always, every time I've been when I've been in business, still in business, when I do business, what I found out is if you do not make it very clear with the customer, there's always a couple things, right? One, get half down. Because all of you tune in and watch it. When you tie up money that you worked your ass off for, money, you don't forget. You don't forget who you loaned that money to. You don't forget who you put money to or put a down payment or gave somebody for the tub or for the kitchen or for the garage door or for the tires or for the vehicle. You don't forget. So when you tie up their money, it's kind of a legal contract. And you don't forget. We're not going to call somebody else. They're definitely going to call you and say, hey, I found somebody else that's sure. I just wondered, would you refund my money? Normally they don't do that, right? Because they just don't do it. I don't know if I want to say they're lazy, but they won't do that. They already tied it up. The wife says, hey, look, I found somebody in the newspaper that'll do it for, blah, 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 blah. Husband's like, look. I already gave half on them. It's already on order, babe. I'm going to watch the football game. And they move on. So, and then, or if you put, just like when I'm always talking about everything must be in contract, right? Just like the whole garage doors, right? Order a door, it's brown, it's this size, it's raised panel, it's got weather seal, it's got all this. The door shows up in 2, 3, 6 weeks, 6 months, whatever it is. And, now we go to install and they're like, hey, boo-boo, why is the door brown? And you're like, you're making jokes, right? You're funny today. You're like, no, seriously. And you're like, what? I think I'm going to throw up, I'm just starting out my business. I just bought this door. It's $2,000, $3,000. I can't. This. What do I do? You know what I'm saying? Then so then it's like, but then you go back, right? And you go, this. That's what you do. Grab this bad boy right here. Go. See if we got dust on it. And you go, here, Mr. Customer. How would I, hey, it's a raised panel. Is that your signature down there? Oh, that's you, isn't it? No, look really close. John Doe, is that you? He goes, well, I'm a big ass man. Did you, sir, without saying that, did you not read? Did you not read what it says right here? And they go, babe, get me another beer. Yeah, I signed it. It's fine. I'll paint it. Okay. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. That's how. So my brain is, I'm always like, I'd rather write something up to customer. And that way it's, when I come back and it hits their car or it gets their kitty cat, I go, ma'am, do you remember the day I was here? The guy with all the gray hairs. You remember how I told you that this could cause impalement, this could cause death, this is an entrapment, this is not right, this is not, do you, because when I'm on the news, I'm going to be like, She signed it right here. And their news person, this report sucks. He's got evidence. We can't blame him. Next, let's talk about the weather. That's just my psychological brain that I go to, because if you, I tell people all the time, I've seen it in business all the time. I get guys that come in, I told them. That's all I ever hear. That's all I hear from employees and customers. I told them, not so much customers, employees. You know, I told them they shouldn't be running it. I told them not to do, I told them to do. Where's the proof? Where's the proof? And it's way easier nowadays. Hell, you could even grab this thing right here. Grab this. Hi, customer. What's your name? Okay, this, that. You can even take a picture of their ID. You could take a video with their ID. I don't know if you should be doing that, but I'm just saying, you could say, I'm going to let you know right now, you understand. I mean, that's going to hold up in court. You know what I mean? Like, that's going to be like, you know, you know how it is. Everybody can sue. They can still probably find a loophole, but I'm sure there's, for unforeseen circumstances, this was an unforeseen, or best thing to do, right? Just walk away. That's the best thing sometimes. Sometimes look at something, you go, this looks really messed up, and I don't want my name on this, and I don't want to be liable. That's why you pawn it, punt it, get rid of it. Say, I don't think we're going to be a good fit. Hit some button. Can you use LiftMaster eyes and offer door brand openers? I don't know. I have never cross-matched openers or photo eyes. I would like to know. I have a feeling they give us. I think it's funny how Genie is like, you can just, as long as you hook the wires, like you can hook them up, like they work. Where LiftMaster, you know, LiftMaster's got this, you know how it is. You always got to make sure black's with black, you know, type of thing on the wire, black's with black. Whites with white, and it's got to be in the right portals, you know, where like if you just pair them up on the Genie, it typically don't matter on the Genie, you can just swap them up there. They got to be twisted together, all that normal stuff, but they don't have a problem. 10 likes. Thank you guys for the like. Rusty says no. Ooh, this is good. Got it right here. So Overhead Genie and Rainer use different pulse than LiftMaster. Probably makes sense. Maybe that's why they're pulse where you can like switch the wires around. Genie, the only thing I ever noticed with Genie is like their wall button it lights up, you know, and if you don't get the wires right, it won't light up the keypad. It don't seem like I ever had so many issues with LiftMaster, but I'm sure LiftMaster's got, they kind of do that same with, I don't know what the, with their newer design, that keypad. I'm thinking about the, I mean, I remember like, it seemed like the little, not LEDs, but doorbells. Doorbells used to not light up if you didn't do them, but I can you just hook, do you got to still parallel the, I'm assuming you do. I just don't do enough LiftMaster. Resis. My alarm system uses 10K resistors. Interesting. Comes from in the United States. Oh, racism. Is it? It's kind of, is it? I don't know what this is. It's not racism. It's just people. It's just people. Just how it is. I don't have nothing against anybody. I have a thing against deadbeats. I do not like deadbeats. You know what I mean? So that's the only thing. Everybody's, hey, you can't help. I can't help that there's Chihuahuas. I can't help there's Pit Bulls. I can't help there's German Shepherd. That's just the way they are. And they all got a different bite, and they all got a different bark. You know, it's the way it is. LiftMaster will work on Rainer. Is LiftMaster? Oh, that's true. Yeah, Rainer does. Don't they just read? It's not like the Wayne Dalton ones, right? Wayne Dalton always had, you know, Wayne Dalton put their, you know, there's a Wayne Dalton opener. It's a LiftMaster. Like Rainer does the same thing. Yeah, they slap the name on there. Some Rainer commercials are different. I feel like I do remember hearing something about Rainer had just tried LiftMaster Rainer the other day. It didn't work. To order another set. I just kind of wonder what to say. I really wonder if switching recently, I had to call my buddy who works for a Rainer dealer. Let's see what's going on. I haven't came across one that didn't work yet. Yeah, interesting to know. If you find out, Tanner, let us know, because that's, but who knows, they could be, you know, doing different stuff now. They found another cheaper, you know, bean counter. Dealer, yeah, I came across one, didn't work yet. I'll hang out in, oh, the hot tub, oh man. Hot tub's nice. Don't get weird with those. Jets, oh man, oh man. The Tanner wouldn't work with the standard commercial eyes like on the truck. Oh, there is those other LiftMaster commercial open for that do. Okay, okay. So LiftMaster CPSU wouldn't work. Gotcha. Says okay, I'll check and see. We just ordered square deal ones. Never really looked what type. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Let me see what this. If they got a CPSU. Book still hanging out in here somewhere. I already got the one, but I think like the CP4s or whatever they are. CPSU. Let me double check here. Showing them, but they don't even call. It says replacement LiftMasters, snappy sensors. I don't know, is that what they call the new style? Snappy sensors? Okay. Let's check here, see if we can find Lanier. I see Lanier. Great for you, Lanier. Where are the more LiftMasters? We need more LiftMasters. Got a couple. Check this out for a gun. What in the stink's going on here? They don't keep all their LiftMaster the same in this thing? Beats full service spring, boy, it's came a long ways. This is Logic 4. I wonder what they call those ones. What are the CP? Is it CPSU? What is the? Is that the standard? Got door and gate, reflector. Because I mean, we got these ones. These are just CPSU. These are the kind of the commercial. This is a CPSU right here. Where is this? This says PSU, and that's the standard. I ain't gonna lie, I absolutely hate these fish. I don't like them. I don't trust them. They work, but sometimes they don't work. I've had a lot of faulties, and then I always make sure we use the 18 gauge heavy. Now these ones, these are some bad to the bones. I've never came across a failed set, unless somebody took them out, wiped them out. Like they hit them with a forklift, and they took the forklift and scratched it. Like I've never had a problem. Was it the CPS opens? These rubber ones, oh my gosh, these are the bomb. They got a price around $141 versus, oh shoot, these ones aren't that much cheaper. Yeah, so to me, so that's right there. Yeah, so to me, for $40 more, dude, if I gotta buy it, I'm just going these. $40. That's not even. Dude, do you know how much we pay employees and myself? Even worth it. That's just like, I'm like, dude, that's a no-brainer. Just go with those. Like, I trying to order them without these too. Like, I was like, can we just upgrade? Like, when we get them, get these ones. Like, I don't even want to see these ones ever again. I've just had weird issues. I've had weird bling them. I've had weird glitches. Never, ever. I put these in some bad environments, man. Car wash, road commission, salt. They're bouncy. They get kicked. They just come right back. They just work. They just work. That's all I want. I want them to work. I don't know what Genie. Does Genie got photo eyes in here? Genie's got some too, those, don't they? Yeah, they call them. They tried it. They're pretty much all the same, I think, but they're just a little different tweak to them. That won't. Social is cracking down on this. Rusty, if you get a safety inspection, let me know. I have to come over. and install the sensors. What's up, Sky? Long time. How's the rain? Danger Ranger running good? Caleb just he's got a Danger Ranger. He's a little bit rustier. And he just got some new tires. They were slightly used but new to him. Got a fan fixed up so doesn't have the wobble. It's running pretty good. He said the check-in though came on the other day, so I think it was flashing is what he said. So he's got a I said the flash is not good. I said you can have a check engine light, but I said what it normally means this is when the motor's doing the and you're like, it's going to die, and the light's flashing at you, and you're like, I know we're going down, but come on, make it a little farther. That's right. Give me a break anyways. Cheers. Cheers. Old West is still hanging in there. He's pretty rough, but I'm waiting to lose it so I can get a new one. What's up, Sky Rusty? Dude, what is this, Rusty? Even on, I don't know what that is. Freeze. I see David's got some other kind of language. I can't read it. The freeze. Tanner says, just fixed a roll-up door at Menards that a broom got caught between the door and the roller floor thing. Pallets roll on it was dumb. Darn those broom handles. So it was a roll-up door, huh? Those are all little things. I've had so many of those. I'm always like, ever since I've been in business, I'm always like, I would love. There's just so many things you can lose money on, right? You know, like there's theft, there's unproductive time, there's customers. Like I would love to know, like if you could tally that all up, like the customers that lied to you, and you go, you know, like you know what I mean? Like it was a broom handle, and you know they didn't tell you. You know, they got it out of there. I don't know what happened, and you're there being Mr. Detective. I don't understand how that cable came off. You know, I just installed this door 2 weeks ago. Gosh, am I a big fat loser? I mean, I didn't think I was that green anymore. What did I do wrong? It was the vendor. And then you're like laying home at night, and maybe the roller like jumped half in it, or maybe a bug flew into it and it hit the bug and the roller jumped and that's what made it kick, you know? Or maybe they put a broom handle in it. They just lied to me, you know? Ooh, says I use my doors like 8 times at the day at the most. Nice. Mission or guilt. You as a professional are expected to know code. Customers aren't. Signature from them won't hold up in court. Maybe. Thing is, I don't do it very often. I just make it clear. The psychological is what I'm always against on customers, that it's, I told you. I told you. You know, because I guess I look at it and I always go, I don't want to be, I'm sure you guys have done it, right? Have you gone behind a roofer, maybe your mom or uncle or an aunt, right? I mean, I think we all have done it, right? You always go behind someone and you're like, damn, who to hire? They didn't do a really good siding job, you know? They didn't do really good concrete, or they, you know, I don't want to be that guy that the 95-year-old grandma has her son over that's just starting to get garage door business or whatever and going, Grandma, who'd you hire to do this? And she goes, well, I hired this sweet little company. And he's like, you call them back. Those are not supposed to be up there. And then my time, right? That's one thing I'm not getting no younger. My time is very valuable. So I don't want to go back for, you know, well, my son, you know, like for, right? Like, well, that's probably not a good example. I might tell it. If you put in the comments something, say, tell that story I'll tell the one story, but it's not related, but it does kind of get where it's like, do say something, they don't forget, you know what I mean? But anywho, so I just, like I said, mine's a psychological warfare with the customer, you know, because I don't want nobody coming behind me, another door technician, saying, hey, I'm here to change your, you know, whoever did that, that was wrong. And they go, no, they told me. And he's like, oh, and this is why, you know. And then, hey, if that guy wants to be the hero, go for it. Go for it, dude. If you can show up every week to help, and you can still make money and be in business and still support your family, then go for it. You go for it. But you know, I mean, here's the thing. I've worked in a lot of shops, a lot of factories. I've been in safety training in my one business, but the place I used to work for, nonstop, right? Somebody get a poke, we have to find a, and it doesn't matter. It like did not matter. We have to find something. They would guard shit, everything. I mean, you name it. I still don't know why we don't have guards on tires for cars. I mean, cars are dangerous. Kids can get under them. Dogs can get under them. Hell, I hit a squirrel not too long ago. It's a dangerous world, man. Why do they not have guards on those? They should have little jets of air and everything, and they should have ding, 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 ding like the train tracks do. You know? And I mean, it should be all safe and guarded. It should be no way a kid could pinch his finger under that car. No way. Well, why don't we? Because it's ridiculous. That's why. Because nobody could drive. Nobody, the dealerships and the lobby and the whole government, nobody could sell cars. It's stupid. And then then people would really be after them about fixing the potholes and damn roads, right? I mean, so it's just, like I said, it was one of those things that was like, you know, you have to make judgment calls. And I always look at like, hey, I'm not telling anybody what to do. I just tell you what I've done. And, you know, in the company and things that you run into. Like I said, looking back, you know, I might have just said, hey, you know what? This is probably maybe not a job that we should be doing. But also, I have a soft spot for, you know, older women that, you know, their husbands and stuff that can't do nothing, and they're disabled. Because I learned a lot when I cut my knee open and I couldn't walk. Wow. I'll never make fun of an old person when they're waddling across the parking lot. I know what that feels like now. You know what I mean? So, you know, I gotta do what I gotta do for grandma. You know what I mean? And like I said, it's just one of those things like I can't be there every week and I can't move in. She wouldn't let me. I tried. She was on the lake. I mean, the old man would just go. I mean, I would just be in. You know, didn't she needed somebody to serve the deck, right? She didn't have a pool, but you know, the deck needed standing. I could be the deck boy. I'm just joking. Half down for doors. What is your limit? We just basically cut her in half. My advice, great question too, by the way, Rusty. My advice though for people starting out, I've heard this, and I do believe this is true. I heard this for the garage door guy. If you got to move your numbers around a little bit, or you just up it and say, hey, we asked for or whatever, you know what I mean? It's half down and you need to fudge your numbers or however you may look, you know, but I guess obviously if you do more than half down, then you're okay, right? You can make that easily. But what I'm getting at is you need to cover your material. That's the big thing. Because if somebody goes rogue on you or whatever, hey, there's nothing better than at least knowing what's in the shop there was paid, you know, by the customer. And it gives you some wiggle room. Because I have had, you know, we've had certain jobs. And then if you have anything that's special order, anything that you know that you won't sell anytime soon, that you're like, this is not a very common door. It's black. It's brown. It's got windows. It's got some design on it that, you know, Sonoma. Half down. It's not. And put in there too that this is a special order, and this is non-refundable. And people do all kinds of weird things to you. I had a guy here that he was he finally sold a customer. I dealt with this customer for years. They owned a bowling alley, and it seemed like they get prices, but they never moved. But then when something would break, they would call us, and it's like you go out there and you fix a spring, you fix a cable, and you're always like, dude, you need to replace your door. You just really need to replace your door. And finally, he got him to replace, I think, 2 or 3 doors on the property. And I was like, dude, you're the man. Good job, man. Like, I've been dealing with that customer for years, and I never was able to make it happen. Well, guess what? Came back around. He ended up getting half down, did the right thing. The customer called, and decided, they said, hey, is there any chance we could get a refund? Now, mind you, there's already a couple weeks in on ordering, you know, and he's like, no, nope, there's no refund for this. And I think it wasn't a special, so it wasn't really spelled out, but no, he's like, they're already on their way. He might have even said they were here. We just got to schedule a time. I can't remember, but he just said, nope, so can't refund them. And the reason, you know why the reason they wanted to? The reason they wanted to is because they got a buyer for us. They were trying to sell the house. Probably the realtor said, you really need to spruce this place up, right? So they're trying to spruce the place up. And this is the thing, is this customer has money. Well, as far as I can tell. It looks like it. Drive a lot of nice cars, all this other stuff, right? And but now they're trying to back out of the garage doors last minute. And he already got half down, so he's got their money tied up. And he's like, no, this is a special order. And I remember I was like, when he got off the phone, and he's like, I'm just like, good job, dude. Good job, man. Like, what in the, you know, and he's just like, I know he was feeling it, because I kept telling him, like, yeah, I've had a hard time with that customer. Dude, you landed him. Like, how did you do that? Like, good for you. And then now he's got this blowback going on, and I'm just like, but he stayed strong. He fought through. Got him to do it. Everything worked out. But people will do that. You don't know what people are doing. That's the problem. People pass away. People hit. I've had, like I said, I told you this door out here on our shop. We got paid material and labor to install it on our own shop from another vendor. So thank goodness we got a half down originally, but the door sat with me for 3 years. So, I mean, there's all these weird things that if anybody's got stories, and maybe it's too long or whatever, you know, you can always send me an email about it. I would love to see it. If you wanted to keep it private, I totally understand. Just let me know. If it's something I share, I might share it. Otherwise, you can put in the comments. But like I said, people do things, man. I had a oil change place that we used to work for. Great customer for many, many years. Calls me one night. He's selling the business. I'm like, he's just being Chris. He's like, hey, I'm just letting you know I'm selling the business. I said, all right, I get it, man. I said, I understand it. And he just said, he goes, it's wrecking my health, dude. I get it. I get it. He's like, I got people, they're coming in, you know, they're doing this, they get, you know, they're doing drugs. He's like, they don't confess. There's cars that they're, you know, just on, and I get it, man. I get it. Totally get it. And, of course, that night I'm laying in bed. Oh yeah, that was nice of him to call me and all this. You know, it's like you go, you know, you want to start shit, like, wake up, we got a problem. And she, what? Didn't do that, but that's what I'm thinking in my head. We never got half down for him. We dealt with him for years. He's been a great customer, you know, and I didn't think this would ever happen, but we got 2 locations. We got a door on order and the other one, and oh my gosh, the one to sell first is the one that the door's on the order, and that's a $3,200 door, and I don't want to eat, you know, and like, is the new owner gonna, you know, be willing to pay that? They're gonna be, we don't know you. We don't know you. We're corporate. Did you get this approved by corporate? No, we have our own door company. You know, I mean, that's just the stuff. So I'm like, he got that one covered. I think one didn't get covered. It was kind of weird. You know, something got mixed up a little bit, or we drug our feet or something, you know, because this stuff always had the worst of times. That's what I'm telling you. I'm telling you, life is all about preparation. Everybody, prep. You need to do this stuff up front. You order something, you need to check the confirmation. You sit at night, you sit at your office, your desk, your truck, I don't care what it is. It could be a deer blind, I don't care. You suck your thumb and you read everything verbatim, and then you make sure you check it with whatever the customer. It's a white door, it's a short panel, it's 12-inch radius, extension springs, this note time, you know, in the morning, write yourself a list. You got to call the secretary. You got to call the vendor. This is not supposed to have extension springs. I don't see weather seal on here. I don't see perimeter seal. It says it's 1 door when there's supposed to be 2 doors. So that's why you want to get those confirmations and check those confirmations, baby. I mean, those are the holy grail. Those are the contracts. So when that door comes in, you know, because I've had it once. I remember they sent us a door, and I'm just like, geez Louise. I'm like, did I screw it up? Did I tell the secretary wrong? Did the secretary tell the vendor wrong? Did the vendor screw it up? Did the truck driver screw it up? Did the guy in the warehouse screw it up? You know, confirmation, baby. Confirmation right here. This is my confirmation. This is your logo up here. This is what I was supposed to get, and this is not what you provided. You know what I mean? So that's recourse. You know, so you gotta really pay attention. That's why I'm saying the stuff behind the scenes. It's easy. It's easy to go install a door. It's easy to go to hole. It's easy to, all that stuff is easy. It's easy to go buy a brand new pickup truck. That's easy. It's all the stuff, the small stuff that'll kill you behind the scenes. You know, that's the stuff that adds up. You know what I mean? That's the problem. That's the problem. Because all of a sudden, boy, that stuff will start hitting you. Why is this order wrong? Oh my gosh, now we got to reorder it. Now the customer's upset. The builder's upset. You know, oh, what are we going to do with this? Are we going to send it back? Well, they won't take it back. It's special order. It's painted. You know, there's a lot that goes into it. Is there anything that said and install them correctly, that put a couple staples and move them if they want to? Uncle Dave, good actor, like that. Thanks, Tony. I have, there is something I can relate a little bit. So there was a guy that was an installer that I know, and so like for instance, this is what he would take pictures. I forget, did he have them sign? I think he had them sign, but I don't know if he put anything on there. I think he had them sign anyways. But anyways, he would take pictures and note it, because he would go, he'd do a door install or something, and it had the old openers that didn't have the lip, didn't have the safety set on it. And so he would leave the pin out. He'd leave it back or whatever, the J arm, and he'd leave the pin out. And he would tell the customer, he'd say, hey, he says, I left the pin out. It's already all set, but I have to leave that pin out for the liability. So, you know, if you put that pin in, that's on you. So if the door gets, you know, it's going to void the warranty. If somebody gets hurt, it's on you. That is a way that you could kind of step around it. Now, I'm not going to ask a 95-year-old lady to get up on a ladder and, you know, put a pin in. So, you know, that's just stuff that you could do, you know, possibly if you didn't want to sign something. Like I said, I found out that it's more psychological warfare. For me, it's customers that will have problems or say something, or a son or a husband or a wife or whoever. That's, you know, that's where I want to make sure, hey, like, I don't want you saying, hey, you know, something. No. Because I've gotten so sick. I got so sick of people walking in that door over there, and they tell me, they go, oh, the customer was really happy. And 2 hours later, ring, ring, hello. Oh yeah, this is we got a little bit of a problem. It's like, and then it's like the next morning, it's like, hey man, they had a problem. What? I told them. Obviously, you didn't tell them good enough. I don't know what to tell you, or they're lying, or whatever. What do you have proof? What do you have proof? That's what all that matters in life. That's why when you get deliveries, when you go pick stuff up, you got a special order, get direct something mail. What do they make you do? They make you sign. Why do they make you sign? Because then you go, oh, okay, well, I kind of signed it, you know, settle the materials here, so what am I going to do? So that's why the signature to me is always so important, just to me. Like I said, I don't know about the legal part of it. Like I said, I just want to know that there's no recourse of you calling me saying, hey, like Chinese, right? I should have told her, I should have said, I want you to sign this, because she didn't understand. Obviously, she didn't understand. I mean, I looked right at her. I told her. I was like, your door is unsafe. Your door is unsafe. And like I said, remind you, this was back in the day. They have photo eyes. Some of you guys probably remember that. It was by force. Now, I hate to tell you, right? I'm a believer that the new openers are actually more sensitive than the old ones were ever. But, like I said, they didn't have them. It must have been stronger, tougher, better men. Hit number 2 for that, right? Arr! And so, right, what do they say? What is it? Good times make weak men, and hard times make strong men. Well, you know, so I don't know. I mean, who knows? The safety eyes are good. You know, they're good for kids and all that kind of stuff. But like I said, this lady, I told her, I said, this door is, and I couldn't make it run without being just one, you know how it is, that hair turn. And it was like, they had like the numbers, right? It was always like 1, and I got it, and I tried everything to get it to revert that 2x4. I think it probably had the limits that were like a little bit chalked up, and I just didn't know to clean them. Maybe that was it. I don't quite remember, but I just told her, I was like, hey, I was like this, and she calls me up, and I felt bad. I felt horrible that she her cat. And I'm like, what are you supposed to do if you go get an oil change, you get your car washed, but you still back over a kid? You know what I mean? It's not their fault. You're in control. You push the button. Like, I told you, do not let this be. This is not a cat or a dog or a human. This is not a pedestrian, and you know how it is. You guys been there. If you've been to a garage, you know how it goes. Thanks. We got 11 likes too. Thank like button. But, you know what I mean? It's just, it just bonkers. That's one I wish I would have, like, I'm sorry, what? You'll kill my cat. Stated right here, I told you that your door was unsafe. Do not let pedestrians or cats or dogs or crickets or yourself, do not stick your head underneath the door, that it will come down and kill somebody. Do you remember? Oh, I not so lucky. I used to have a lady I used to work with. She just called me. She go, you lucky. She was a great lady. I loved her. She passed away. Want them, I give them. If I don't care what you do after I leave. Yeah, like I said, that's true. But how do you tell an old lady that her husband's either bedridden? That's the only problem. And like I said, either way, or sometimes you gotta help. Plug you guys in a little bit. Give us the juice. Do that, Dave. Any torque master I can't change over? He says I just run away. Any torque master? Torque master. You can change change over. I just run away. The torque master. You could change over all the torsion unless they don't want to pay it or something, right? Let's see what this got. Maybe got some juice. One of my friends forgot. Lent him 40 and he refused to pay back. Ooh. So I stole a bunch of tools from his garage. That's where my such cord and my big craftsman ratchet. He says I stole other stuff too. Get your stuff back. Well, that's why they always say, isn't that the saying, right? Don't ever lend friends or family money. You never lend, you always just give it. It's just a gift. Do I? Oh yeah, I could get a little laser burn. Put a little Uncle Dave on here. These are worth $20 all day. Dude, this is straight as an arrow. This is nice. This is premium electric tape. Not that cheap crap you guys buy in the bundle. Like, this is the premium. I buy in the little plastic case at Lowe's. Yeah, it's like $27 a case or whatever it is. Yeah, the premium stretchy good stuff that's good for winter. Yeah, this is winter proof. Yeah. Like I said, the link will be below. Pick them up. $9.99, 2 easy payments. Window air conditioner from his porch. Holy cow! Sounds like you got your money back. David said hi. What's up, David? Rich Beast. I'm late. Got back from what's it called? Selling Mexican flags. Oh, that's funny. Eric got somebody, hopefully for 405. Right, 405. There you go. That's right, Rich. He's got 475. Like, we ain't screwing around. Gotta up those prices, man. Inflation. Hate game. That's right. What's Rusty says? Those are one Dave's size semi-truck tire in the cage. Oh, came out, retract off the wall. Ooh, man. Ripped the sensor off. Whoosh. Dang. That's crazy, man. I never realized semi-tires, what do they range like? I think they're like 100 and 120 PSI. Whew. It's a lot of pressure. The only time I really recognized it, I was going down the road doing a service call, and a garbage truck passed me, one of the big ones, the compactor on the back. I'm just cruising, I'm talking to a dude, dude, I see the gas station down ahead, whatever. Awesome. Ooh, man, I ducked. I thought something was coming through the windshield and scared the crap out of me. I think I even twinkled myself a little bit, but I think our semi-truck driver that was dropping off some fencing material, I told him, I said, holy crap, dude. I said, you know, I was going by a truck. And he goes, well, yeah. He goes, those tires, you know, I think 120 PSI. And I was like, holy crap. I was like, you know, I'm used to, I put up tires up to 8 PSI is the highest I've ever gone. So I'm like, I didn't even think tires could go that high. And I don't know why. It's kind of stupid. But he was like, hell yeah. He's like, that's why I sound like a bomb going off. And I'm like, dude, that thing scared me so bad. I mean, there's videos. I'm sure you guys watch them too, the videos, and the guys get just flipped right off their feet. It's just like, whoa, man. It makes me nervous. Like, I'll even be pumping up my own tires sometimes. I'll see like one's got like a little like maybe like somebody ran, you know, almost like a razor blade or something, like they ran against something. And I'm just like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go get like some safety glasses, and yeah, I'm gonna stay back a little bit. Work on most LiftMaster, or that's what we stock for service. Oh man, those open fours are just the bomb. I never had problems with open fours. I'm not saying they won't ever go bad, but everyone, it's like, how do I explain it? What's the most reliable thing you have in your life? Maybe a knife, maybe an opener, certain brand opener or model, and that you just know when you install it, you don't have to worry about it. But the other ones, those yellow ones, I just always am like, is it going to be a good day or is it going to be a bad day? I've had some that just weird glitches in them. Ford Ranger is alive and well. Nice. You ever get some nice jobs to get the Ranger? Send me those pictures. I like seeing the Ranger doing its job, man, making that baby money. They got to make baby money too. Baby money adds up. For Rangers Live. Sky, ooh, is it 3.0 or 4.0? It's good. This guy's got 3.0. I don't remember what models. So is it 3.0, the 4-cylinder? And the 4.0 is the cylinder, and the 3.0 is the 4-cylinder? Because I remember, like I said, we had around 2000. We had a 2003. It was 2003 or 2006, and then we had an 08, and the 08 had the 4-cylinder. And I remember we had hoppers. We both had tubes and ladder racks. And I remember we took off, me and my business partner, from a light, and we were like neck and neck. And I'm just like, this is bull crap. I'm like, his truck's got more miles with the 4-cylinder. He's like just staying right there. I mean, we're creeping, but it's not like a half a car length or anything. It was just like, we're just sitting there, you know, wah! Oh yeah, I'm gonna beat you. I got the 6-cylinder. You know, but we had 2 lights we went through, nope, wouldn't do it. So I was always like, I don't think it really matters. I kept thinking, no, I actually preferred the 4-cylinder. 4-cylinder just ran better. It seemed like it always shifted decent. Just, I don't know. I just like that truck better. Then I thought I just seen something. I heard Ford Rangers, the new Ford Rangers. You know, I thought there was some recall on the new ones, and I went, pfft. I was like, there ain't no recalls on those old ones. Those things just gotta put gas in it. There's no gas in it. Ain't got no gas in it. Yeah, that guy always says it. No, look the same, but are different. This is I tried before. I jumped over CPS used. It's just an old style residential sensor from the 90s. I know what you're saying. I feel like I thought I put new ones on before, the gray, you know, they were black, the black ones, because they got that lug that goes through them, the bolt. It goes right through the whole heart of it. And I swear, I thought I put yellow ones on a residential ones. I was like, these are awkward looking, but I was like, hey, it works. You know, so I don't know. Mine had 3.0, and that truck sounded good, and fuel economy was amazing. Oh yeah. I had one when I was younger, had the 3.0 and a 5-speed. Ooh. I don't know what this is. Is it Countless says hi? Hello. Or is it Cottonless? I'm sorry, I'm horrible names. Good to know, Rusty. I just thought they were interchangeable. What's up, say man? Not much. Hopefully things are going good in yours. How to know when the sensors are bad. You guys got some. Lights on the sensors are not illuminated. True. One can go bad. The old school ones, they used to have ones that had the terminals. The Craftsman's, I think, was it? They had the plug-in. That was always kind of a bad idea. At least up here in Michigan, they always corroded. So corrosion, they don't rarely go bad, but they have gone bad. They're getting a lot of water on them and stuff like that. I've seen, that doesn't help them get kicked. The lens. I think the lens plays an important part. I feel like I had seen one time and I was like, oh, it's just missing the lens, but it's still, and it's like that dome shape right here. I got one right here. Dome. That lens up there, that lens, I believe, helps dome it out so it can see better. Otherwise, without that little dome in there, holy moly, man. It's like you got to be vision on, one little jiggle, and it loses it. But yeah, they don't illuminate, things like that. I've been on my belly before, a lot of times, honestly. I've sat there and stared at them, and they can get, like, sometimes they can get a little flicker to them. Sometimes it's the eyes, sometimes it's the board. But I've had it where it's like door will go down, it reverses, and you're like, what the heck is going on with this thing? And I've been sitting there right on my belly, I'm like, go ahead, the button. I've even had it where I've hooked a remote because I don't have somebody to help me, and I can just see a flicker, man. All it takes is a flicker in that light, not for it to even turn off, just it looks like a voltage surge. And man, all of a sudden you're like, this photo eye's got problems. You got to readjust, or it could be on the lights. That's why I normally try to wiggle them a little bit, make sure it's, it's not right on the cuffs of the edge. Like we give it a wiggle up or down and it's like out. Like it can take flex from vibrations or whatever. Door keeps down. Oh, that's weird. Light stay green. Light stay green. That seems a little weird. Because, like this one, the typical setup would be this one's green, and then this one's yellow. So did somebody do the wrong? We got two greens. Sometimes they fade and look different. Maybe try. I don't know how much these, did anybody know what these things run at the store? Like you go to the box store, like Home Depot, Lowe's, Menards. What are these running? Are these like 20, 30 bucks? Can you even buy them like this separately? Somebody was saying they were going to go to the store. Option for APC was a good show. It was fantastic. Ooh, nice. Orders open. Do you require a deposit? It depends on the customer. Typically calling, we're gonna already head out with an opener. Like typically they're pretty good with, or they'll carry both out, a 7 and an 8 foot if it's residential. So typically we're gonna already go out. We're gonna do it. We're gunning that we're going to just do it when we go there. We don't typically. So what I do, which I recommend to people, is for instance, one thing I screwed up over the years is I'd go to a customer and everything's going good, right? They're like, yeah, this and that. Let's go ahead and do that. When you add time to a job, that's the death. That's the enemy of the job, because that gives them time. And I hate to break it to you guys, it's not going to get any better. It hasn't gotten it because of this. Cute kids. Well, they were cute. But everybody's got these things in their pocket, this computer, this smartphone. And so what they do is once they start getting a fix of something to, that guy said he could, and then they start talking to the wife, and then they start talking to Bob, the neighbor, and they're having a beer, and Bob's like, how much did he tell you? $400? $600? $1,200? $5,000? Hell! Dude, we can go down to the old box store and get one for $1.99. Shoot a couple cases of beer and me and you. And they go, oh yeah, that's a good idea, because this dude wants $400, $600, $800, whatever the number, $5,000. You know what I mean? That guy whipping me off. You think about it, I could save that money. Yeah, I could buy myself that Johnson motor I always wanted for the boat. Yeah, it's on Marketplace right now. Let's do it, Bobby. And so they, So what you do is you need to get a service call out of them and tell them, say that will be applied to your opener or your door or your job or your spring, because now at least you got the money for your service that day, your time, right? You're not out. And then that'll get applied if you want to do it that way. Say this will get applied, so whatever, you get $50 and it's 300, it's going to be 250 is going to be the remaining when we come back for the opener, installed. And then that way, if they call you up and they say, I got it working, or Bobby next door, I gave him a beer and a slap on the back and he's got it. Not a problem. No harm, no foul. I paid for my time. Not a problem. But otherwise or if they get a price from somebody else, right, and it's really close, or maybe they're $20, they're like, you know what, I already gave the other guy 50, so that's going to be applied. So, I'm just going to go with this dude. Like, I already gave him, and I'm already like basically getting a discount because I already paid him. So I'm just going to do it that way. Things to think about. But good question. Farm. Sure your doors is balanced correctly. It springs too strong at top. Could be reversing door. Ooh, that's true. Forces, right? That is true. That is very true. Let's see. Miller, he says, I service anybody said fiberglass door for a 101-year-old lady. Wow, this morning. Dang. Not open. She will be 102 in October. Wow. Living by herself. Neighbors, look out for her. I think that's why sometimes I'll go to places, and they're like, do you want to donate? And I'm like, no. Well, it's this. And I'm like, you know what? My donations have always been? I do good deeds for a lot of customers. That's what I've always. If you're elderly and you're in a, you know what I mean. You guys know what I mean. When you go there, I took care of this one lady. I was working on her. I didn't understand the situation, right? Everybody's situation is different. You don't know the whole situation. And I said, I'm working on her door. She's the sweetest lady. She's all by herself. She's a widow. And she's telling me some stuff a little bit about her car. And she had like an old, like the Lincoln town car, big old Lincoln. Newer style, but just a beautiful four-door, big old trunk, still modern, probably like, in the 90s or something, late 90s, maybe early 2000s. I don't know what year they stopped, whatever. It wasn't the old style. It's a newer, skinnier version. And I'm like looking, I'm up there working on her door, and I'm like, man, she's, her son called me out here. I'm like, man, her tires are almost flat. And I'm like, I don't know if this is, but I'm like, all right. So I call up the son. And I said, hey, I got the garage door all fixed. I said, but I wanted to let you know. I said, no, I said, I don't know if your mom needs help. I said, but she, her car, talking about going to the store and stuff. And I said, her tires are almost flat on her car. I said, at least this one, He goes, well, well, he's like, I appreciate you telling me. He says, but here's the truth of it. He says, we're actually trying to let the car ache because mom won't give it up. And I'm like, oh boy, do I know. I've had some family members, and oh boy, I got a mom. Mom, love you. And I'm just going like, oh yeah. Like, I know exactly where this is going, and I'm like, I get it. Well, I didn't have the right part or something, so I had to come back. And I felt so compelled. She was just the sweetest lady. I went down, I grabbed the wife. But babe, I said, you got to go with me. I said, I need you to talk to this lady. I said, she's lonely. I said, she's out there just telling me her whole story. I said, I got to get in there, whip this puppy out. I got more service calls. I said, but she needs somebody to talk to. Wife agreed. Not a problem. Let's go do it. Let's make a change in the world. We go down there. She's talking. Boy, that lady just soaking it up. It kept rubbing me too, because she's talking. And I'm just sitting in a hot, you know how it is. It's the hottest summer day, man. I'm just drenched. My underwear soaked. That's how, it looks like I peed myself. And I'm just like, they're in there just, having a great time, air conditioning, everything. That was wonderful. And we drove separate, so wifey made another couple hours. And so it was a great feeling, gave them I didn't charge extra for going back or anything, nothing crazy, just a normal service call. But that's where I do my, I've had other people, that's where like you go there, you tweak a photo eye. It's like You're all set. You're good. You're good. Really? You're good. You're good. But you have to make those judgment calls. You know, you just have to, you know, do what you got to do. And like I said, the older people, we're all going to be there. And golly, I hope somebody will wipe my hiney when I get older. And, or me, or, you know, because I got a 96-year-old grandpa right now on the wife's side. He's got the biggest heart. And he told me, he goes, this is what he tells me all the time. He goes, it's all here. He goes, I can think of it all here. He says, but I can't do it here. The body won't let me. The roof for him years ago, you know, he was out there trying to lift shingles, you know, pick up the old shingles. He just, you know, go inside. We got this. We'll handle it. Go enjoy your grandchildren. Go enjoy the water, the whatever. You know what I mean? So I hope we can, you know, hope we have somebody to help us when we get older. If the sensors are still working and it's still reverse, it may have a forced issue. Ooh, I have no idea. Just started this. One thing too, somebody might have mentioned already. I see we got 13 likes too. Thank you guys for hitting the like button. Get the J arm free and run the door, because then you got on it, right? If the J arm that comes down, or unpin the trolley, let that thing run, because then you know it's not fighting the door. If it has an issue, something's going on. You know what I mean? If it's still doing it, sometimes it's like gears or whatever. Does that sometimes, and other will not go down. Yeah, take it off the door. Sometimes I've had it also. I've had the door panel smashing into the jamb. That's caused it in the radius. So sometimes what you can do is either pull them off, run it. It's working fine. Okay, fair enough. Get up on that J arm, right? If it's hooked up to the door and opener, and have the disconnect. If it's, I don't know if we said what kind of opener it is. If it's a Chamberlain or whatever. If it's a Chamberlain, you can pull the disconnect and simulate that opener. So you grab the J arm, right? We probably got one. Let's go look. If we got one, I'll grab one. Because it just might make sense. More like, you know, what the hell is he talking about, J arm? What's this fool talking about? We got one that's put together. As we do. There's the J arm, right? So what you do, try to have a better background here, right? Pull the J arm off, unpin it. You can just let it hang right on the opener. It's working fine. Or get up there and hold that J arm while it's disconnected on the trolley and push that door, right? If you push that door and you feel it binding up against something, what the heck is that? It could be that bottom panel or something's jamming up and that opener's detecting it and that's causing it to reverse. Guys did a sweet job organizing that. Looks great. Guys have been doing a really good job of the shop, honestly. I'm so proud of them. Oh. I should say something sometime. It works as it should. Sometimes it gives me this trouble. Are the bulbs flashing when it reverses? That's a great question. Sometimes it's an older door. I would check for cracked sections. Oh, that's like another good one too. Cracked sections. That's right. The strut, you know, or the door has got a belly in it. Be buckle enough and ties and bind the door and trigger force settings. Yep. That is very true. Deer blind. I made some out of old wood panels for deer blind. Kind of like started it, never finished it type of thing. Rusty said I built a few. Nice. Okay, so it does flash. All right, well, that's a good indicator. See? This is what I'm telling you guys right now. That LiftMaster, it's a bummer that they got rid of it. Right here on the Power of YouTube University, you know, right here, great indication. You know, oh, but LiftMaster's got the photo eyes. Great, but he may not notice that. But he knows that it's blinking and it's flashing. And that's a huge indicator for all of us. We know way more now what's going on, all because of that little thing he told us about. You know, hey, it's blinking, it's flashing. 25 years old, openers. One will open with remote but won't close. Glad I found his channel. That's awesome. We're glad you're here. There's a great group of guys here, and they love to help. Cracked hinge. bad roller. Unhooked opener run by hand, felt for any binding or drag. Door opens and closes easy by hand. Interesting. Open remote but won't close. Sounds like photo cell. But new set on. That doesn't fix it. It's in the board. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. It's actually right here too. You got Kevin and Rusty, which I love, by the way. So like for me, what I would be doing is I'd get these photo eyes. That's why I got my little shtick here, my little wires, right? And I'd be taking my photo eyes and I'd be right up by the opener right now, and I'd hook this up, and I would see if it works. If it works, great. And I'd photo eyes and I take them down by the door and I'd put them in or splice them in or run all new wires if it comes with new wires. And then if it works, it's great. But if it doesn't, obviously you have something wrong with the wires, or you staple something too tight, or you have a bad wire. So process of elimination, less wire than a lot of wire, you know what I mean? So this works, it's working fine. Okay, now take it down below and see if it works down there. And if everything's great, everything's great. That's another. So I have issues with both. Holy moly. What state are you in? Oh, Georgia. Darn. Rusty, you can have that one. This guy says a flex fuel Ranger. It sounds tougher with a flex fuel. I know that. Horses, but less miles per gallon. Oh, flex fuel. Less tank of flex. I got 14. I did not really know that. That's kind of cool. It's kind of interesting. Kind of makes sense. That's what yeah. Oh, he just rubs it in. Evans back from the hot tub. Just rub it in. Good catch, Rusty. Got a HUD of myself. Evan, I have a service call for you in Georgia. I don't know who would be. I don't know who's closest. I think we have to me. We had the one guy. Was it Patrick? Patrick, that was the semi-truck driver. Patrick's on the channel anymore. He was talking about getting into the door business. I think he had a buddy that was just making like millions of dollars. Patrick, if you're still around, email me sometime or jump in. Could be a bad board. The older board can have broken solder joints in the board. That's true. That is true. Says Dave, we are talking today because I sent that video of those knockoff chamber sensors. Well, I'd like to say you were part of it, but no, it was because I actually got a phone call today from a gentleman. Actually, it was a text. It was a random text, and it said, "Hey, Dave," it said, "Could I hook? Could I put K resistors on the photo eye?" And I'm like, I was like, I don't think it'll work, but go for it. I was like, and let me know if it does. I didn't get a response. So, but I'm assuming no, because they got to have the pulse. And 10K, I think it's just, that's what it is. It's a 10K resistor. So it doesn't have no pulse. It's just a resistor. So I don't think it will work. But Evan did have some weird looking photo eyes. That's for sure. The one that was red. Maybe it was just malfunctioning. You guys have you ever seen the one be red? I've seen them be like greenish, and I've seen kind of weird yellow. I can't say I've ever seen them turn red, but I do know that they do. It's like you get old or they malfunction a little bit, and like they do change weird colors. I've seen them where it's like, it's like some photo eyes are green, and it's like, what the is this? And then, so it's like, I don't know. Oh, Rob's got it. He said, he just texted me. I just seen it. Let me double. He said it did not work. Like, oh, bummer. There you go. 10K don't work. No worky. I'm surprised you can bypass this the same way you can bypass a cable tension monitoring without hooking it up. Cable tension monitor. I don't know how you bypass a cable tension monitor without. How do you know how to bypass the cable tensioner? I don't know how. Do you just tether, or isn't that one just like a switch? Sky whack somebody. I've been adding tension monitors to openers when I install. Why is that, Rusty? Have you been having problems with throwing cables? And that's why you're installing the monitor? Ooh, the 3M super tape. That's right. That's why it's so expensive. $20. 2 easy payments. Price is going up though. If you don't order now, price is going up. 2 easy payments of $19.99. Rusty, I was referring to those resistors being able to bypass a cable device on older jack shafts. Oh, I don't know. But why would you want to bypass unless spinning cables is your goal? That is true. Weren't those nozzles prone to failure? Gotta walk. He says, cheers, everyone. All right. See you, Sky. Thanks for dropping in. Evan says, I only remember, if I'm not correctly, it pulled against the drum every day, bending the arm, causing it to stick open, spin cables, but I never had any fail. I don't think I ever had any fail either. I think the video I saw a guy did it because he had worked on rear torsion. Ooh, my kind of guy, says. The rear torsion, huh? Yeah, then I don't know if you just pin it open or whatever, so it's, seeing or whatever it needs to see. So when they flicker, it's the vibration of moving the sensor. That's true. That's why sometimes those sensors, I've mounted them right to the wall, packed them out with 2x4s, horrible. Mount them to the floor. Vibrations, yes, vibrations. They can look perfectly fine. That's why I said these things can be very, very detrimental. It can be a lot of headaches sometimes. A little late. It's the party. What did I miss? What's up, Rob? Hope we're doing good. It's nice talking to you, Evans. Pair of new chamberlain sensors for about 90 after taxes. Right. So they are 40. Right. So I was just thinking the same thing, Rusty. I was like, $90 up there. So kind of slash that price probably about in half. Yeah, that's right. It's even, yeah. Look at Rich says on here. Rob's got ouch, and then he says everything double in Canada. Oh my gosh. See those opener prices and stuff. I think Evan could just make videos. He could go like grocery shop and watch them. You know what I mean? Like, just what's a bottle of wine? What's food? What's water? What's this? What's vegetables? What's that for? What's furniture? What's here's openers. Here's garage doors. Hey, at least he still can get garage doors and openers right from the box store, right? I don't know if Tony said I know they couldn't get garage doors, I thought. I wonder if they could get openers down there. That's got to be weird going into a store and being able to. But, I think about it like HVAC, right? You don't go into Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever and get a furnace, right? I don't think they sell that at all. I mean, everything double. This is about 10 in sensors. Texas been a long week. Oh man. Checked in $23.77. That darn 77 cents. That's what's gonna kill you. For those sensors through Clopay. It's inspect in the states, flag and opener for not having sensors. Ooh, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure if you paid a home inspector, or I don't know if they'd catch it. I don't know. It's weird. Like, it all depends. They're kind of hit and miss. Maybe those resident calls to just talk to people can make their day. Oh man. Some people, that is, man. All they need is a conversation. They're happy. Yes, and they will also flag for them up to high and no safety cables. It gives me anxiety. Oh man, you should have seen it back in the day trying to run those damn clipboards before we had the computer system and Jobber. Jobber, I still need a hat. I need a Jobber hat. I didn't even sponsor paid. I need a Jobber hat. I'll have to reach out to him. That's what those clipboards though, man. That was the way to go though. Guys walk in, boom, they grab the clipboards, they had their jobs. We did colors. I forgot what did we put on there? We put like little stickers. Everybody had colors. I was blue. I always remember, I don't remember who else, what their colors were, but you know, take your blue clipboards for the day, and you have them, you know, you have their time all written out. Hi, he says, where do you work at? Work at Affordable Door and Gate. That's where I work. Let me see if I had, since somebody mentioned it. Because sometimes people come in here and they never seen them, right? But these were our clipboards. This is what we used to have. We'd have a time, you know, service tech be there, times, description, quantity, price, payment, how we accepted payment. We used to write their credit cards, right? That's like a big no-no now. Work was done. We had how it was. Is this a work order? Is this an estimate? Is this residential, bill, commercial, invoice, service, date? Where I feel like when did we have a customer pending? Schedule here. To schedule time and date. So I knew we had a rough, like we normally give like a 3-hour window. So that was how you kind of set the guy day. You know, give them 3 service calls or whatever, and then they would you know, whatever, do their jobs for the day. Now it's all computerized. Which actually, let me click, see if they left it up. They did. Excuse me for just a second here. Today is, what is it, the 12th. I don't know how they do, but they fill the schedule up. Looks like Mr. What's his name? He's got a few days off coming up. About at a fire department. Looks like, oh, they did buy the customer. I'd show you, but I get in trouble. Let me click on this one. This one says customer has new genie belt, 7 foot. He installed on his door. Text pics of door. Looks like a 9x7 easy setup does. Oh, easy setup does not have opener prep. Needs strut, opener bracket, and figure 2 stick of angle. Maybe I can go to view details. And I was just seeing if I see this. There is pictures. Can't say the pictures that good. Probably show you the pictures. Let me see if there's another picture that's any better. Oh, that looks. Oh, this customer even has. Let's look here. Ching. Look at customer even got the opener. Even got the opener. Yeah, looks like an easy setup. No strut. Got the opener. I hope it goes good. Wonder if it's what kind it is. Check this too. Detail estimate, new door. This one has an old wood door she'd like placed along with the opener. Would like a quote on both insulated and non-white ranch, no glass, single wide, but they can't buy Google Maps what size. I don't know if there's any pictures. Might be more details on it. Broken spring. What is this reminder? Anywho, sorry, ADHD. Let's see, rusty seams. My hair goes up and down with no issues. It's no problem. The safety sensors won't be flagged if they're higher than the 6 inches. Yeah, there isn't really like no inspection I know around here. That was it. I'm not saying they couldn't call you out, a building inspector. They go in waves. You know, it's like they start getting training on something, they'll start cracking down on you. You know, the gate operator is one of them. Do we keep arms assembled? I don't think so. The J arms. It was just that one was just like a used one. You could tell it looked like it was pieced together with something else, like an old one. But no, they're normally broke apart. We normally don't ever come across. The only time we come across arms that we need, a lot of times, really, is just commercial. Commercial ones will get bent, or somebody yanks one, or it gets lost, things like that. I was looking for Georgia on the map. I just realized DC wasn't in Washington State. You'll need to know that when you're the 51st. He got you there. That's a good one. I give it. Sing the Star, sing a bit more than the Canadian anthem. Oh man, that's great. Those sensors I sent looked fairly new, but there was an old sensor bracket that never got never thrown in. That's interesting. They said they could definitely be aftermarket. I don't know. What's up? Is that Kate? Jesus cares. Peace and light. He is freedom. Let's see here. Rusty. Sold to the 98022 today on 14 by 12. Also need to rehang door first. Amish installed. Only going up 7 foot by hand. Ooh. Yeah, sometimes Amish. They just depends on, well, it's like everybody. In that box store, I prefer to get them from the lumber yard. I'm still doing paper copies, Dave. Write out quotes by hand. Heck yeah, man. Like I said, if it, it works. If it works, it works. The papers, I mean, it works. It's just, I don't know. I mean, it's like, I don't know. I look at it and I would not want to go back to paper. I can't really think of any of the benefits with paper, except a lot of room on the wall there. Because the thing is, I don't know. I mean, it's cheap. I mean, I just look at it now though, and it's like you can look at the software. I can look at all the notes. Everybody can see it. Nobody has an excuse. You can either see it from your phone, from your laptop. The secretaries that work remote that are hours away, they can see everything. I can see from anywhere at least in the United States. So if you go on vacation, somebody's got a question or a problem. Pictures, that's the big one, right? You got pictures that you can see. The notes are in there. Everything's documented. You can go back right when you're on the job to see. You don't technically need somebody. I don't know. It was nice. Like I can already see there's vacation in here, so I already can kind of prep myself that if I see like certain, I go, yeah, I can expect probably like, hey, this week we might be a little shorthand. You gonna be around? We got a list here of what stuff's on order, just all in one spot. There you go. Ask SQS for what it says software sponsorship. SOS, let me know. Let me know. He's such a good dude. He's got some great stuff out there. Like I said, hopefully we get to shake hands at the IDA. That's why you should come. You should be coming to the IDA next year. I'm excited. I haven't been in a while, so it's gonna be great to see what's new and out there and all the new faces. I don't know if Danny still works at Genie though. I kind of liked her. Per day, do you set target for the guys? Like I said, it ranges. Like normally they got to be in the 1,500, you know, is where they need to be sitting. Which it you know, some days just you always hit it, but there's a lot of days, you know, there'll be, you know, it can be $2,000 to $4,000 a truck because the job is just so, there's so much into it. So but that's kind of your estimated somewhat target for them, you know. The big thing right now is, like I said, I see these jobs, but there's not a lot of the residential is really tightened up. Like I said, when the Wayne WD stopped by and they're saying they average, you know, normally 50 doors on a truck, and they're doing 20 or less a week. I think it's per truck when it goes out. That's kind of like a woohoo, whoa, you know, like that's kind of interesting. So I just don't, like I said, the residential is easy to, you know, watch. And we got some places that like, there's one that they do all kind of maintenance stuff, right? They do tires and brakes, and they're the one of those places that's the cheapest in town. I've been there numerous times and bought tires and stuff, and like you know, like you know how like you can hear on the phone, like it's the people that really just want an oil change. Like they don't care where they go, they want to just know they did an oil change. They don't really care about the quality or anything. And so this place is just always swamped, and tires and brakes and oil changes and front end alignments. I go by there all the time, and it's not even close to what they normally be. So, you know, and it's just not there. It's not there. It's not that lucrative. There's definitely not lucrative money right now floating around, at least in our. So it's just, you know, and I could be wrong. This has been just my always opinion over the years. Is that I don't know for sure. No, nothing. I know nothing. But, you know, Muskegon or Michigan has always been a great bellwether of what's going to come. Like, I feel like if there's something bad in the economy, it hits here first. I know it hits probably other places too, but it's like it feels like it hits here first. And it hasn't came to your area, but something's coming down the pipeline. It just hasn't reached you yet, been masked over. Does that sound right? Like, I just don't think there's just no denying that, you know, like I actually just talked to another guy today. And I know he was getting switched out of a truck. And I said, what's up with it? I said, he had a Ford. It was 6.7 with the diesel and stuff. I said, man, your truck's for sale or whatever. And he goes, yeah. He goes, we bought all new Dodges. And he goes, I hate it. And I said, oh, really? He goes, yeah. He goes, the other truck, it had more power. It turned nicer, rode nicer. I just don't like these trucks. And I said, well, you know, why, you know, those things, I guess things are kind of known for nothing wrong with the truck. He said, we bought all new, he said, before the tariffs hit. And I'm like, oh, wow. You know what I mean? So that goes to show you why, if you guys don't, you should listen to the Uneducated Economist. He talks about a lot of the Cantillon effect. And he talks a lot about words that they're saying that they move the market. Like when you watch the Federal Reserve, the chairman, Jerome Powell, whatever, Jerome, you know, their words are making markets move with what they say. But what they say in their real meetings, behind the scenes that nobody listens to, those are the real what's happening. You know what I mean? And that's why, like, as I've learned about the Cantillon effect, I would agree to some degree because it's gonna be interesting. I don't know. I'm not saying go out and buy a horse and buggy, but I do believe. I don't think it's gonna. They're not gonna want that to happen, but sometimes I do believe. I'm telling you my honest opinion, that people are going to have to. Some people will, some won't. They won't ever go against them, but they're going to have to revert back to what their ancestors did, which was you have land, you grow your own food, your own little animals that you butcher or whatever, this and that, because the inflation gets just to be so crazy, or they're going to give you some kind of what is it called? What is it called? It's not stimulus. It's BUI or whatever it's called. It's basic income or something like that. They give you what's the terminology? I feel like I know it, but I can't think of it right now. It's basic universal income, because they want you to be a consumer. This is a debt nation that we live in, and they just want you to keep consuming. And then the problem is, what's always fun about it, right? We do consume, and you get somebody like me that's used to something that, maybe a car that would last 10, 15, 20 years, and now the stuff can't even make 300 miles without spitting out a piston out the side of the motor, because they don't know how to make stupid crankshaft or whatever, polish it correctly. And so, it really is a big turnoff. And then, our food's no good for us. Our water's got PSA or whatever is in it, plastic particles, because everything's been coated much. It's just not a good situation. You know what I mean? So they're definitely trying to keep it propped up. There's just no doubt in my mind. And I don't know. Hocus pocus. You guys let me know. Look like no power plug-in, the ceiling on that photo. Felt weird to repair for someone in my age group today. Chips, guys, $16. Amazon iris sensor failed after a few weeks or a month or two. I saw it many times after hurricane, few years. Water kills. Okay. Homeowners bought Amazon brand. No name sensors. Now that's weird. Yeah, so I'm glad Evan brought this up, because I've been hearing stuff, and I think that was there's something that when I heard, don't know if this is true. Like I said, take everything with a grain of salt. This is entertainment purposes only. We got 16 likes, by the way. Thank you guys so much for hitting the like button. But here's the thing, right? When I heard that the little men in black suits that protect the king or the queen or the after kings and queens, when I heard that was created, supposedly the same time that Hollywood was created, I did like a whole, oh, no kidding. Really? Whoa, what if that's true? You know what I mean? And hey, let's not face the, I don't know. Does anybody ever think about that? Like, I like Mr. T. Man, I listen to him way better than I like Mr. Poopy Pants. But I just still look at it and I go, dude, this guy was, you're fired. A TV guy. You know what I mean? And now and I'm not saying it's but it just makes me cuckoo goes a little bit, like where I just go, isn't that interesting? It's so interesting. So I just, I have no idea. Obviously, I believe, there's nothing that's out of question for me. I believe it's staged. I believe it's an act. I believe there is no bad attention or good attention. It's like if I say Kardashians, or I say Trump, or I say Biden, or I say Michael Jackson, right? You guys all have different opinions. good, bad, ugly, like, don't like, ugly, that, everything in between. But you know who they are. Who they are. You know what I mean? And so attention is a good thing. If it's even bad attention, because it's still attention and you know who they are. And so I don't know, but it's definitely on the news, right? It's the front page. It's got our attention, and makes us all wonder, how could they do that? Why would they do that? Would they do that? They wouldn't do that. So it was like tonight. We went out, did a little early Father's Day thing for me and another family member, and I decided, I was like, I'm not taking my phone. I said, I'm not taking a tracking device tonight. I said, I just, no reason. I just sometimes trying to train myself to, I don't need to have this thing stuck to me all the time and be looking at it. And it was nice. It's nice. And I'm around people. Everybody's got one anyways. I need, if I, and I'm around, good people. So, sometimes it's just like, yeah, no thanks. I don't need to be looking at, whatever's out there. There you go. Universal basic income. Thank you. Thank you so much, Evan. That's it. Universal basic income. Years ago. I mean, it's like, and it's when you think about it, right? You go, no, never. Yeah, well, people got stimulus checks. They all cashed them. You know what I mean? Me included, right? Because if I don't cash it, my neighbor cashes it, and he can buy a piece of land, but I can't buy a piece of land because I don't cash that check. And then it dilutes the whole system. It's all rigged. It's all rigged. Imagine the headache if openers had both options for digital, or mechanical limits. Just think of how nice that would be, right? The options, they'd be so messed up. They can't do it, right? Because it costs money. Ooh, yes. Mr. T seems better. I just want to see some mental things. That's all I want. Like, I don't know. I'm not saying it's bad, but like, I don't know if that's, like, me, it's still very petty. I don't even know the whole details on it, right? They're supposedly, I don't know if it's taking effect, on the tips and overtime. But I'm more like this. I'm more like, dude, I'd rather you just not have to pay income tax. You know what I'm saying? Like, something started back in a war. Like, it was supposed to be temporary. Just like when you listen to right? We are currently temporarily suspending the gold to dollar ratio or money ratio, whatever the president in 1971 said. And did we ever go back? It was temporarily. No, we didn't. We just started printing more money. So it's just, the older I get, the more I realize how this stuff is really fake. Rich B, bless his heart. Rich, you still in the house? You still here? Hey, hit one or something. But Rich B sent me an article that was something about, he's like, the gold, no, Rich is here. He says the gold standard. That he was showing me something about with the rent. And I don't remember, was it 24 hours or 48 hours? He was saying something like, if something happens with a rental, it's, basically it was either get a reduction on rent or don't have to pay the rent. And I think about that, and I go, of course. And I go, what is motive? It's like they all preach that they want to help us. Oh, we're here for our votes or whatever, but yet it's like I said, it's like, I still, like, right now I go, hey, we could be worse off, right? We could be worse off with Mr. Poopy Pants, the lady, Miss Calmer. We, not doubting that, right? But, because I ain't gonna lie, I like the action of the whatever it is, the military, whatever you want to call them, that's taking care of LA or whatever going on. Yeah, get in there and spank some butts. Someone needs some good lickings. And but as of right now, it's not like I'm not feeling where I just go, wow. Boy, guess what, guys? Boy, my bank account is just doing great. You know, since we got rid of this, and I'm not saying it's not coming down the pipeline. The clock is ticking, and it won't be long, and that one will be next out the door, and we'll have somebody else, and they knows, you know, what it'll be, and there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes when you do research on it. It's crazy. What's he got? The perfect mechanical limit would be Chamberlain, Nas, but when you turn them, the door would move, like how you set limits on a Stanley. Oh yeah, the good old Stanley. I don't know if anybody ever had problems with the Stanleys. Hey, we got 16 likes too. Those Stanley, that's why I was telling you, Evan. I was like, dude, do not touch those limits. I had money. It wasn't everyone, but it was damn near close. You know, I'm done with the door. I do a new door install. The opener still worked, and it's like, oh, well, the opener still. Why not use it? And I can't tell you how many times I'd start messing with limits, and all of a sudden the opener would just, it'd go way past I broke the plastic piece before, and I'm like, son of a, and now it's like on the customer's door. You know, opener used to work. They're like, yes. I'm like, I know. It's been like 25 years old, and it worked on that other crappy old door. It's not working no more. So like, what? I'm like, yeah. And I don't have one today, so I need to come back and like install a new opener. And they're like, well, how much is that? And I tell them, they're like, oh, gee, like, I know, I feel like crap. So, you know, I don't even, the J-arm. That's how I adjust them. I don't mess with the limits anymore. I don't know if this has ever experienced that, but I don't mess with limits. I'll drill into the J arm. I'll put pressure on the J arm. You know, I mean, if I have to, will, but I don't touch those. I don't know. I never even seen really what's inside one. I don't know if they have those weird, kind of like Chamberlain, where they have those metal touching or something, and something gets out of whack. It's so used to touching in a certain spot. I really don't know. Americans in their yards right now singing the illegals. Oh, is this illegals in my yard? I touched Stanley. General once said, we are just away from a total collapse. Well, I mean, it's the truth. I mean, I really think about it. I mean, I look how fast, you know, it's just all, it's just a belief. That's all it is, you know what I mean? And they have to keep that going. You know, we have to circuses and clowns, and we have to feed them cake and give them bread, and they're happy. You know what I mean? They don't really know what's going on. Was it Henry Ford? There's a clip out there that people could always look up. You could just Google Henry Ford's quote or something. You know, that if people understood how the money really worked, there would be like a revolution or something the next day. There's a lot of truth to it. And there's just, people just have no clue. They just do their daily, you know, and they don't understand. They don't understand struggling. They don't understand why, you know, oh, I can go somewhere and get another hour or two an hour. The more you make, the more they take, and they just don't understand especially the big thing with us in America and all that is the consumerism. You know what I mean, like I said, it just blows my mind. I sit here and look at these cars, and I go, I'm not spending, you know, 60, 80, $120 for a car that's not going to give me even 10 years of service. That's so silly and stupid. And we're in everything that just keeps like, they just keep making it cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And it's just, you know, and a lot of people just don't know. They don't think, well, you know, my old wash machine went out and I've had it for 25, 30 years, old grandma's, and I'm just going to go to the box store and buy another one. They don't have no clue. It's like, this is only going to last 5 years. They just think that, I don't know what they think. They think that they have their best interest in mind, I guess. I don't know. They just don't do research. And it blows my mind when there's so much technology out there now. Do research. And it's just, I don't know. Maybe some people just don't want to open up their eyes. Yeah. Ooh, got to keep plates spinning. Heck yeah, man. What was that one? What was it? Oh, I see. I just wanted to see, how do you, there you go. I said that. Do what? Oh no, somebody's bored. But yeah, you gotta keep the plate spinning, and that's why I'm trying, I'm trying my darndest, with my kids and with Caleb and some of the guys that I'm meeting through the channel and stuff like that. That it's like, don't make the mistake I did, where you can go in just so deep, and you have no clue, right? It's like, what is it like? It's like something that you would. What is that like? There's a product out there. I should put it in a clip sometime, but it always reminds me of remember was it Incredible Hulk, and there's one, it's a modern one on the Incredible Hulk or whatever. I don't know which version it is, right? But he gets thrown into that lake, and his dad or whatever is trying to kill him or something and take his power. He's the electricity, and that the Incredible Hulk just says, you can have it all or take it all, and it's like the harder he was fighting, the more energy. That's how business is sometimes. And so for me, there's certain things that you can just not create, or you can just not price yourself out of it. You know what I mean? That's the reality of it. It's like trying to defy gravity. That's a good way. It's trying to defy gravity sometimes with certain products or situations or customers or employees, or you're it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. And so that's why I call a lot of it like the blowback and stuff like that. But like I've been trying to tell Caleb and stuff, like just, you have so much more freedom. People don't understand how much more freedom you have when you stay below your means. It's not that you shouldn't go out and make money and do and all this other stuff, but it's like, but when you're at that top all the time, right? Rev limiter, and you're thinking, oh yeah, I'm doing really good. I can go. Boy, I should go buy that new trailer. I should go buy that new system. I should go buy this. I should go buy this. Yeah, and then all of a sudden, boom, harder times come. Oh man, now I got to make these payments. I got to do this. I got to do this. This stuff's wearing out. This has got a flat tire. Johnny smashed this up. You got to watch that. Because so I'm trying to. It's hard when you're a younger lad. When you see your friends and some of them getting married, and some are just got a new truck. And I told them, I said, what would be more interesting, I said, is the fact that I said, oh, that's great, you got a new truck. I said, did you pay for it with cash? That would get me excited. Paid this $50,000 or $120,000 brand new truck with cash? Dude, sign me up. Like, what are you doing? How are you doing it? What kind of secret sauce do you have? But I told him, I said, everything is a visionary. Everybody can show you. I said, but you don't know, if that's debt was given, inherited, won, gambled, you just don't know what's behind it. So, and I said, but now you get this, and now you got to take care of it. Now you got to put coverage on it. Now you don't want nobody to scratch it. You park way out in the parking lot. Nobody can use your truck. You got kids, don't touch my truck. There's just a lot of stuff that goes into it. So you watch it. You're back from walking? Nice. It was a good walk. I don't know. What's my opinion on the flat tax? I guess I don't really quite understand how far that goes. I mean, Rich, I'd like to hear your opinion on it. You're a smart man. You've been around the block a time or two. I think I like it better, but I don't know much about it and what the levels of everything goes on it. I don't know the heart of it, and so we haven't experienced it. So it's like one of those things like I'd go, hey, let's try it, and then go, holy crap, this is horrible, or this is good. But I don't think it's gonna, it seems like they always talk about this, but they never do. Ooh, 2 miles, 4 miles a day. Good for you, man. That's awesome. It's good to stay healthy. It's great if you have work to pay for it. Ooh, every day of downtime working, I lose you money, then the payment will be for the month. Yeah, it's a weird balance. I can totally speak about that because what were we in, like, I don't know, we were like 2 or 3 months in the year, and we had older vehicles. And it should have been a red flag when my mechanic comes down and like brings me donuts. I'm out in the grass or something. He's like, brings me donuts. You're my best customer. You know, thanks, Dave, for all your business. I'm like, yeah, man. And then later on, you know, a couple weeks or whatever goes by, or something, my wife's telling me, she's like, you know, you've been talking about the new van, and I'm like, yeah. And she's like, I think we can afford it. I'm like, why is that? And she's like, we already got over, you know, like $10,000 in repairs, and I'm like, what? $10,000? And I can see as a business, but the problem is that every time you consume this stuff, now you got to go out and pay for this stuff. Happy part is like right now, Affordable is in that situation right now. All the vehicles out there right now suck ass. They suck. They absolutely suck. The 8-speed, the 10-speed. What do you buy? I mean, I'm seriously thinking if there's a company out there, I don't know which one, I'd rather just lease a damn truck because I don't want to deal with it. If the damn transmission's messing up, come pick up this turd. Give me another one. That's why I always thought it'd be fun. Not really fun, but I just wanted to build like for a certain company, probably like somebody like Evan, if he had like a shop, something, or a small, you just use U-Haul. If you got a U-Haul, you got a job, right? If you're just kind of floating, you got a job, onesie, twosie, a week or something, you make an insert, you get a forklift, you have a shop like this, a forklift, it's got all your goodies in it, right? It's just made like a little, like a, you know, like when those go hiking, you know, it's like they got their little tote bag on, they go hiking, they're showing you their little sparker, and they start this fire, and they're cooking a beautiful little steak over, and they got their little woof dog next to them. You're like, how do they do that? And they got their tent, and they got their little pop-up stove. How'd they do that? Like, how do they got all that stuff in that little bag? That's like what you need for that insert. And then you just go down, get a U-Haul truck for the day. That's already baked into the oven, right? And then you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about it. Hey, it's $50 for the day. I know it's $50 or it's $150, whatever it is. I bought it. I used it. I put my insert in it. I went and did my job. Customer asked me. I told them my truck's in the shop or whatever. They were happy with the service. Leave me a 5-star review. You bring it back. Bring your forklift in. Pull your insert back out. Go take that thing back. I don't have to maintain it. I don't have to deal with air pressures. I don't have to wash it. I don't have to clean the inside. I don't have to deal with the bug splatter. Not my problem. You know what I mean? It's gone. I'm going to go back. I'm going to look at my little but whatever, you know, my little insert, you know, I'm going to make sure all my nuts and bolts are back in there, and I'm going to make sure all my tools are organized and everything's restocked. And boom, there you go. And you got a couple days, maybe you got a little spring job here or something. You can use the car or SUV or a little truck, you know, boom, got another job. Not a problem. I will go get myself me a little U-Haul, and I will do my job. Now, I know branding, all that kind of stuff can add up, you know, but like I said, it's weird when you look at this stuff, right? And then it's like, well, I bought this vehicle, and then I bought the vehicle, like perfect example, one of the work vans out there, right? Went and bought that brand new vehicle, brand new, man, brand new, should not have no problems. I take it up to get wrapped. It's like $4,000 to get it wrapped. All right. Then I'm driving it back. Alternator light comes on. Here, this ain't right. This can't be happening. It's brand new. So I got 300 miles on it. Nope. It's got an alternator problem. Take it in, thinking, hey, it should be covered under warranty, right? 300 miles. Now the dealership could have been snowballing me. They could have been being truthful because now the new cars are made to be edible, right? I just watched, somebody was just mentioning the other day, I watched the LA fires. They were saying, have you watched any of the cars that burned? There's nothing left. There's no frame. There's no substructure. That's how poorly cars are made. Don't know if it's true. Don't know if it's AI rated. Don't know. I believe it though. And once I heard that cars are made out of soy wire now, or soy, they have soy in them, it's cheaper and more biodegradable. Well, sure. Mice like to chew sweet things and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I take it in. It's going to be whatever, like $600 for them to fix it. I'm like calling. I'm like, no, like they drop it down to 400 or something, whatever. You know, then I go to take it there or take it back. No, I was taking it there. Get rear-ended. I'm not making this up. I get rear-ended. I'm like, I got a car, it slams on the brakes. I slam my brake. All of a sudden, boom! I get rear-ended. And I'm like, and all I thought about was, oh my gosh! I just caved in the back doors. And all I was worried about is the problem is that if I caved in the back doors, it screwed up the wrap. Now I got to take it way back up there, an hour and 15 minutes away. And I'm just going, oh my gosh. And I'm going, I got so much time invested in this. You know, I discount through this place. Thank you. Service vehicle. I got a, whatever they give you, some kind of discount. So I got a disc vehicle, but then I had to take it up there. I had to deal with the design work on the computer, after hours, all that stuff. I approve it. I had to take the vehicle up there. Now it sat there for a week, whatever they did their wrap thing, or blah, blah. Now I bring it back. It's got wires there too. Now I take it to the dealership, right? I get rear-ended. And then to top it off, for whatever reason, because the plates were being changed, whatever, I put a plate on it just to keep it was like legit, like it was a legal plate. So in case Johnny Law just takes a look, it wasn't like, hey, he's got the wrong plate on there, or whatever, right? As I got rear-ended, I realized that car has the wrong plate on it. And I'm like sweating. It's like, oh my gosh, you know? So I pull off into a parking lot and come to find the cop goes around the corner. And the cop's like, literally, the van that hauled me has got the plate. So if he registers the plate and looks over to him, he's going to go, that plate lines up with this van, not that van. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, and he's like asking me questions like, so what really happened? And I'm like, the cars took off. I mean, they all slammed on their brakes. I slammed on my brake. Luckily, I didn't hit the guy in front of me. This guy was obviously not in control of his vehicle, and he hit me. I didn't say that. And the cop obviously gave him somebody's got to get a ticket. Gave him a ticket. I felt bad. He had a little Jetta car. Hood was all jacked up. He was even left in an intersection. He couldn't even drive. All I got was the hitch. So when I seen the hitch was bent, I was like, hallelujah. I was like, that's an easy fix. That's a bolt-on piece. I mean, the bumper wasn't, it's because I hit the brakes so hard, the back end came up, boom, he went underneath my car. And I'm just like, I bought this brand new car, and I just cannot get this damn thing on the road so it can start making money. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just not always the case. You know what I mean? Like, so it's kind of like Rich B. Like, I agree, man. Like, I always want to make a video. It's either a bucket. My dad explained this once. He says, business, he says, with a spigot. Now, I always wanted to make a fountain of it. Anybody ever finds one for sale or something, let me know. I want to buy need a smaller one that's kind of tote bag size, a little bigger maybe. But there's a faucet, right? And water is going into the bucket. And there's holes in the bucket. Every business has holes. There's overhead. There's stuff that didn't get done efficiently. We forgot a part, or we did the right part. We had to travel back to the shop. We had to go to the vendor. Those are holes in the bucket, right? But as long as the water's trickling in, nobody notices the holes in the bucket. But if the spigot starts turning off, which is the cash flow coming in, the water level is going down in the bucket. Well, why is that? Well, because there's holes in the bucket. So you're constantly trying to repair the holes in the bucket, and then you're also trying to increase it's voodoo. It's really voodoo. So there's that, or the spinning plates. So that's, I get a trailer. Get a trailer for the scissor lift. Now I get a scissor lift. Now I buy another trailer. Now I got another scissor lift, and then it's, I got another truck, and I got this, and I got insurance, and I got, there's just so many things, and there's a lot of ups and downs, you know what I mean? And I was thinking about it today. I was literally doing something today and thinking, one thing that's helped me out in my life, and I was thinking about a family member, because they're very materialistic, and they don't quite understand. And I just wanted to say, I wanted to tell them while I was doing something today, I just said, quit buying depreciating assets or depreciating materialistic things. That's what I wanted to say. Quit buying depreciating materialistic things, because those are the killers. When you buy that, a motorcycle that's going to do you absolutely nothing except bring you joy. But you really are pushed to the brink. That's not making baby money. There's just so many things that we can purchase that are just a waste, and it just all depends. I mean, if you enjoy it and that's what you want, and you want to work your hiney, that's great. You know what I mean? More power to you, right? I just know for the longest time for myself, I was always asking myself, I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. 42 years old. I think I'm 42, 41 or 42, somewhere in there. I still don't want to when I grow up. I don't. I do know one thing though. And that one thing is I just want freedom. And I have a lot of freedom. And I'm very blessed to have a lot of freedom. but it's taking a lot of sacrifice. But you also have to be very smart and make good decisions and think about it logically and use common sense. And there's just a lot of stuff out there that's just, it's so hard because it's hard when you see TV tell you, right? You know, like we've all seen it, right? You see the guy, maybe he's got the chick or whatever. He's driving a nice truck, but he drives like a donkey some other day. And I was telling the wife, I said, that dude does not deserve that truck. I said, that dude is driving like a fucking idiot. I said, he does not know what he's doing. I said, he's hitting curbs. I said, you know, I was like, he does not deserve that truck. I was like, he's just, but he's looking bling. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, I'm sure you guys do. 2 mile, I'm sure. Should start looking at trucks with how much stuff's starting to pick up lately. Gosh, I don't know. I mean, I'll tell you my honest opinion. You know, it's kind of weird, but my first vehicle, I still actually have my first vehicle, my truck. And you just can't go wrong. Just can't go wrong with a truck, right? I like the vans. I really like the van. Now, if I was, what would I do? If I was in Evan's situation, I would probably be going a service van. I'd find the longest van. They got the ones that are a little bit longer. We got one. I'd get a little bit longer van. And then that way everything's stored. You can do a ladder rack on top, so you can put ladders up there. You can get the ladder racks that lock. You can put a tube on there, like 20-foot tube on top of our trucks. Or, I'm sorry, the vans. A truck is definitely a step in the right direction, but that way all your tools, because you deal with winter, and your tools, you can actually keep the van a little bit lukewarm if you want. You can put a little space heater in there. I've done it. I'm super cold, or I got to do it the next day. I need my power tools to be somewhat, you know, not -40, at least in the 20s or 30s. I've done that before. There's just so many more options. You're on a job, you need to use the bathroom. There's just so much more room to expand, in my opinion. You know, in a truck, as I go, the cab is quiet, right? But with the new headpieces and stuff like that, if you're trying to answer the phone on the road, get a good headset and it'll block it. I used to use the Parrot. I think it was a Parrot. I used to use a semi-truck driver headset. I'd have to deal with phone calls on the road when I was going to my next service call. And people couldn't hear it. I could hear them. I did dual, because I'm not a one person. I don't really through one ear sometimes. I don't know, it screws me up. So I did the earmuffs, and then with the earpiece, I drove around. And then the only thing I see with a truck is I just go, well, if you need 4-wheel drive, but you're going into a lot of heavy construction stuff, you know, the thing is, it's nice with the vans. There's a lot of weight because you got it loaded down. So you put a good set of tires on, you're good. You know what I mean? You're good all day. And your tools are secured. You can lock it up. If you have to put some openers in there, they're not in the elements. You know, you see doors in there. You've seen how I've done it. But I would probably try to, you know, I don't know your situation, right? But obviously, if you got enough money to pay the truck off that you currently have, I would definitely pay for cash for an older vehicle. Maybe even try to find a Southern vehicle, or just one that's a couple years old, so you're not paying that super top price. Because right now, the only thing that's halfway decent, right, is the Chevy Express vans, but you got to get them with the 6-speed. And it's not that the other ones won't work. It's just, I don't think they have long-term reliability. That's the only thing. You know what I mean? Do you get 100,000 on them? Probably. You know what I mean? It just all depends on maintenance and stuff like that too. Everything has problems, but those are about the strongest. That's why we have Chevy Express. And I was super happy when I was talking to the mechanic and he actually called it in, the VIN. And yours has still got the 6-speed. And I'm like, oh, whew. I mean, I'm already sweating. We got the 8-speed and the torque converter problem. And I'm like, at 80 or 120, they puke out. I'm just, you know, and then talking to a transmission guy and he's like, yeah, transmissions aren't 3,000 or 4,000 anymore. He's like, well, they're 6,000 to 8,000. And I'm just like, I'm like, is that rebuilt or brand new or OEM or what? You know, like, doesn't sound good. Save up props until you can get buy cash when you are small, or it will take your cash flow away, and that is bad news. Yes, the money. Probably what I'm thinking, Rusty. And there's a lot of, I think the way you got to always think, the way I look at it, is like, a lot of you guys, you know how it is in business, right? It's super hard to get the phone ring, right? Even established for residential, I'd love to bring in more for the residential, but got to advertise, right? It doesn't matter driving a Nissan, a Chevy, a truck, a Lamborghini. It does not matter. It's what people see, what value they're gonna get, what hooks them, in the sale. Happy with the service, the reputation. There's so many different layers. So in my mind, I look at it and I go, I would rather be drowning so much work before I made a decision. Like, I don't care. Like, I'll rent a U-Haul. You know what I mean? Like, I'll do it to a point where I just go, holy crap, I'm using this 2 or 3 or 4 times a week. This is getting ridiculous. I got so much work. And then, like, in my mind, I'd be trying to be more efficient. So I'd be going, well, if I had a van, all my tools are in there. I can set me up a nice little rack. I got a little charging station. See, like, I always wanted to do even like a van. I wanted to put like a cord underneath the van and then put like a pull cord, like a ratchet, like an air compressor. Like, you ever seen the commercial buildings where you got the ratchet and goes crank, 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 right when you pull out the air compressor line? Something like that. And then what I wanted to do is I wanted to have it so it was hooked up to a trickle charger. It was hooked up to an engine block heater. It had obviously a port inside if you wanted to run a space heater, which is, you're asking a lot. But it also have a station for your batteries to be charging. So at the end of the day, just like the vehicles that sit here, you could pull a cord, hook them up to it, and it's going to start trickling battery. So hopefully you don't have a dead battery in the morning, because that crap happens, right? Leave dome lights on, headlights, something, whatever. Engine's got a little bit of heat, a little block heater. Your batteries are charging, right? And then maybe you wanted to throw a little space heater. I know I'm asking a lot out of 110, but you'd have an option, depending on the situation. That was always my thought process. Is the way I'd always, and I thought, hey, you have a little ratchet, boom, you could plug it in, or maybe at a customer's, you plug your van into one of their outlets on the outside, and you could, whatever, you could run power tools inside if you had to, or something, or maybe your batteries are dying again, so you put them on the charger, but now they're in the van too, you know what I mean? So you don't take them out of the van. That way you don't lose battery chargers. Pays the same percent for every dollar you make. No, well, there's no deductions. No more, the more you make, the more they take. This term. Ooh, Dave, what does this term bad money mean? Ooh, bad money. I don't know. What does it mean to you, Rusty? I don't know. I don't know on the bad money. All I know is there's a lot of bad purchases, a lot of bad choices that I know. You know what I mean? When you look at it, I still remember the bank. You know what I mean? And the lady told me, I remember when I bought my first house, like, oh, and she's just, you're making this is going to be the best asset you ever, your biggest asset. And I'm like, oh yeah. And it's like, now that I know what I know, these people don't give a rat's ass about you. It's all about, they get commission, they get bonuses, they get some kind of cut, they get some kind of gift if they sell so much stuff. So it took me a long time. I think her name was Denise. Denise was my banker that I finally got cut through the bullshit with her. I said, Denise, don't give me this. And then I started trusting her. And I was like, this lady I trust. And so I actually finally had a banker that I could go to, and I'd tell her certain things or do certain things, and I say, what's your opinion? And she'd go, well, she goes, here's how this is going to play out if you do it this way or do it this way. And not this whole, like, if you sign up for a free checking account today, they'll give you $100. I could care less. That's all bull crap stuff. You know what I mean? So there's just a lot of loopholes stuff. And I just wish if I knew what I knew then, that, that whole thing, right? What's an asset? An asset is something that put money into your pocket. What is liability? A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. So if you buy a truck or you buy a motorcycle and you're not renting it, or you're not 100% using it, or using it for business or something, you're just using it, it's a liability. Today it did not make you any money. You had to pay insurance. You got to pay for an oil change coming up. You got to put brakes on it. You got to put tires on it. It is not an asset. Yes, does it make you look cool? But who cares? Every day and every night, you have to work for that thing. Just for maybe one day out of the year, maybe you meet some family, right? And they go, ooh, wow, that's a car. That's a nice truck. Hey, Johnny must be doing pretty good. Just for one day. Hey man, go to Toro or whatever, go rent a damn car for the day. Buy something exotic for the day. Go spend $170, $200, $300 for the day. Go blow it. Instead, you know what you're gonna do every month? Every month you're gonna spend $600, $800, $1,200 a month for another 7 or whatever it is, 7 years on this depreciating asset that in 7 years is going to be a pile of junk. And you know, and depending on what quality and soy and the mice have chewed it, and you know what I mean, like it's just like you got to be thinking about stuff that goes up in value and not be doing so much active. I mean, that's what we're doing all the time. We're doing active income is what we're doing. We're not doing passive. There's no passive. It's always active. I have to go out and make the next sale. I have to go out and do the next install. I have to, okay. But even if you're working a job, you should be taking that money and start figuring out how can I do this. There's not going to be 100% passive probably. It's going to be, you still got to do work, but you're still making nickels and dimes and pennies. Well, pennies going away, so watch that one. But you know, when you're sleeping, I don't know, make the garage door openers, get subscriptions. Tell them you'll do yearly contracts or whatever, or do monthly for $19.99. Da-da-da-da. I gotta go to bed. What time is it? Holy, it got late. I can't see the window, so it must be dark out. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. The hands-free works okay for me if I have to call customers. I only had one lead come in while I was driving so far. Usually when they come in, I'm at my day job or at home. Yeah, so that works out. Hopefully I get sleep in tomorrow. Ooh, nice. Gotta go. Maybe if you ever build this fan, maybe you have solar. Ooh, that's a good idea. That'd be cool. It says, no, you said, he says, making baby money. What does it mean? Oh, baby money? I'm always talking about like you invest whatever it is, you know, you're you know, even if you got to buy garage door stuff or something, you know what I mean? You invested some money, the money's going to come back with a little bit more, you know what I mean? So you make baby money, you know, or if you make an investment and it's creating cash flow for you, it's just something I've kind of snagged, you know, over my brain where I just said, you got to be, you know, go make that baby money. No matter if it's in the job or whatever, but more or less, you know, you're investing something and then you get back a little return. So you're making that baby money. There you go. Maybe baby money. I know I've been looking for that. I'm trying to be the pool boy. Somebody out there, you know, they need a pool boy. I mean, I'm Speedo and everything, and I will do a great job cleaning that pool. So they just what was the guy always told me? I always thought this was kind of funny. I'll leave you with this for tonight. Since it's quiet, and I think every younger person has gone to bed, which is good. This guy that did garage doors, he ran another business and stuff, and he always told me he did a lot of construction stuff, right? But he go, you know, Dave, he goes, I'm like a whore, and he goes, but I'm not a cheap whore. I always thought. I get that, man. Like I'll do whatever, but he goes, but I'm not cheap. I just thought, hey, I was like, that's pretty cool, man. I get it. Rich must have sent me something. So anywho, so much for being here. If you got anything, let Uncle Dave know. Text me, email me. I love it. Today it was great. I had a little bit of freedom, so I'm glad I got to talk to Rob. He had that circuit board issue and about the Ks, and thanks Rusty for the video on that door. That thing gets me every time. That door is ingenious, just ingenious. I mean, the way that thing works is amazing. That somebody made that door work. I want to hire the guy. You know what I mean? If he can get himself out of a wet paper bag, cardboard box, he can get himself out of anything if he can make that old pile of junk work. So that was pretty cool. But all that good stuff, and so make sure you guys keep your fingers. Thanks as always for the intel and the support, And we'll talk to you later. Oh, thanks for the losing nuts. No, well, maybe once, but I got it back with the magnets. We're good. Take care, guys. We'll